detractors, they said this was gonna happen, and they were right.
Holy shit, Phil. The detractors.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. Your detractors.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. Do you hear yourself right now?
They were right.
Like, we totally fucked him.
Oh, fuck all that noise. Get you a bottle of gin from Total Wine. Fire up your TV. Drink your gin. Drink your gin. Consequences have actions, Pep. Here's what you gotta do. Drink your gin. Drink a Pepsi later on. Play your fucking WB champions. Consequences have actions, Pep.
Holy shit, Phil. The detractors.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. Your detractors.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. Do you hear yourself right now?
They were right.
Like, we totally fucked him. Stop being a fucking victim. You fucking bitch. You fucking asshole. Own your shit. Own your shit. Own it. Holy shit, Phil. The detractors.
They were right.
Bitch. Holy shit, Phil. Your detractors.
They were right.
Bitch. Holy shit, Phil. Do you hear yourself, bitch?
They were right.
Like, we totally fucked him. You're still on mission 1. No, I'm not gonna let you lie. I know you're lying. I'm gonna pick on you. I know you're lying. Being dishonest and begging for money and people wanting justice. He is not a real person. He is not genuine. He is not honest. He's a scammer. I just see a scammer.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. The detractors.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. Your detractors.
They were right.
Holy shit, Phil. I just see a scammer. Begging. Like, we totally fucked him. Alright, I'm done. I'm done. I understand everything now. I know why there's this hate wave on him, and it's been on him for years. It's because of this bullshit.
American Mall.
That being said, hello. This is Phil Burnell. All right, and just wanted to tell you that I love the podcast. That being said, big ups. That being said, which vest is podcast best? That being said, relaxing, chill, interactive, fun. That being said, which vest is podcast best? That being said, one of my mannerisms. Relaxing, chill, interactive, fun. A.L. Team Insider, the legend. Fantastic Mr. Sam, the dentist. Speak to the dead. Psychological style host. Meerkat. Artistic style host. That being said, which vest is podcast best? That being said, which vest is podcast best?
If there was ever meaningful content, it's being produced right here on That Being Said.
Oh my God, hilarious. Oh God. Everyone loves this. Anyways, what's up, everybody? We are here, Saturday style, act to act. Back in the house, Saturday style. Hope you're doing well out there today. We got from yesterday, we brought him back due to popular demand, Mr. Ludacris. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to have you back, brother. And as always, the Skeleton Man is joining us again. From his bookkeeping comes Atlas. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to have you with us today again, Atlas. And we got a lot to cover. Anything, Steve, you want to say before we get going on our journey today?
Hey, no, we've got no business announcements, have we?
I don't think so.
my
I
job.
mean,
I've got an
we just-
announcement if I can.
Oh, please go ahead.
Is that all right? It is a drama style announcement, which
Okay,
I know
that's
everyone's
fine.
eager to get to the gameplay, but I need to say it. So since yesterday, after we did our skit, the guy skit, I've got a few DMs of people saying, "Oh, ALT was so funny. He had the funniest lines." I just want to say, I wrote it. All right, everything funny he said, I wrote. So when you say that he's funny, and it just makes you look like a complete fucking idiot. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there.
Thank you. Hi, this is ALT, and I'm here with Meerkat. And we're here to talk about. Anyways, no, we'll make that video in the future. Anyways, big ups everybody. Anshul Mishra has a question to start the stream, and I'll ask you, Meerkat, is the person that I'm choosing to ask this question. Okay.
Yes.
The question is, who's bigger, Cat or Triple P? And this is a factually based question only, is the question from Anshul. I'll leave it to you, Meerkat.
Why is this the first thing we're talking about?
It's
today?
just
This is a very,
it's the contribution. Come on.
very big-headed question. I need some time to think about it, do the research, the math.
You need to get your receipt.
Okay.
She's gotta go count the cancels the last time she was on Spin Guys. It's there's a lot of math involved.
Okay, so we're pushing that
based on what I've seen both of them get up, and that gives me an approximation of how much they might weigh. So I would put my money on Mr. Triple. He seems
Mr.
like
Triple.
a very high calorie intake style person.
Got there.
So
you go.
I think it's him.
Okay.
What do you call it?
Triple
A
P.
person of calories. Wasn't
I call him a person of calories. All right, next up, Review Tech Mongolia, which is an up-and-coming YouTube channel. Different country, saying Phil Chan Sunny Chu sure is a 220, huh? Yes, and some people might not know what 220 is because they haven't caught up with it, whatever came out 6 days ago. So we're going to cover that today, 220, and what the magical thing that means, all right? But first, before we get to that, I do want to play a DSP mention in the wild, and we always love these segments. This is 9 days ago from Kiwi Tapes, 290,000 subscriber channel, and I guess they missed a memo on the resurgence because they say something negative about Philip here. So let's listen.
You're accused of things even
Not
worse
that
than
one,
what
not that one,
Torfia
this
has
one.
been, and your e-begging has far surpassed her. For a very long time now, Leslie has been asking for money during her TikTok lives, but just recently she has begun to demand it to continue the live stream. It reminds me of Mr. Based with World of T-shirts, or DSP just whenever. It comes across so
DSP just whenever is the reference there. Big ups to Kiwi Tapes for that reference. They must have missed how the DSP doesn't beg anymore or whatever, right? I think that's the narrative. One more thing. Go ahead, Meerkat.
You guys wouldn't believe how many filthy, disgusting e-beggars there are on TikTok. That platform is insane. And sometimes they have like co-op begging sessions, like legit, both of them on like the same stream from their respective accounts, and they have a beg off and see who's gonna get the most money. I'm not joking. This is a thing that happens, and it's super hype.
Dude, can someone please...
TikToks on Lolcow are a different breed, man. They really are.
So yeah, we need our young style, correspondent Atlas to tell us about TikTok, because I think he is a TikTok stan. So could we get DSP to join TikTok somehow? Can we promise him some kind of money or something? Because he would try it if he thought there was some gold at the end of that rainbow, just like shorts, right? But
I was hoping the shorts would go there. Yeah, but it fizzled out before it really got to that point, unfortunately.
God damn it. Anyway,
he kind of has bought with the what Meerkat was saying, the beg on begathon sort of thing where two people compete or whatever. He's like got the Kick chat and the YouTube chat competing against each other. So he's kind of stole that idea somewhat.
Yeah. True. I do see that though. Okay, one more thing before we get to our nonsense today. One of my favorite things is when Philip will agree with himself. Mm-hmm. And WPIG, I found a great one here, a very good one here that I never heard before. Here we go.
The difference. But no, the viewers and fans are not my boss. They're my customers. And I need to make sure that I'm doing what it is that they want. Because if I'm making content that nobody wants, then I'm not going to have any customers come and pay for it. Right? Exactly right.
Right. Exactly right. Okay, moving on. Right. Oh, exactly right.
Yeah,
Sure.
That's a good point, Philip. Thank you.
Right. Well, exactly right, of course. Okay, so let's go into this, okay? So Mike Watson, the gentleman on the right, is a legendary member of the FGC for sure. Back in the day, he was one of the biggest names, and still everyone knows his name if you're in the FGC in any kind of capacity. He's had a few run-ins with Philip. Most notably, he was the person that Philip got into such a, I don't know what you want to call it, a spat online about. Philip was talking shit to, and Mike Watson said, when I ever see ya, I'm gonna fight you, right? And eventually the situation happened where Philip was over there for one kind of Evo qualifier, whatever the fuck it was, I forget. I think that's the qualifier that DSP didn't have to go to, but he still wanted to flex on people, and he went there anyway. Cash advancing, all this. And Jaha was there, and Mike Watson and Jaha went up to Philip, and they decided to confront him on this. DSP himself admitted to crying in this moment, saying that I'm an alcoholic. If you want to hit me, go ahead and hit me. Okay, that's just
Put his hands behind his back and everything. Please include that detail, because that's my favorite part.
Yes, excuse me. The hands were behind the back and said, "If you want to punch me, it'll make you feel better. Go ahead." Okay, that's what Philip told by Philip. Well, Mike Watson,
that'd be a great goal. Wouldn't it? Why doesn't he offer that now?
Well, Mike Watson added some new feelings from that moment here, and let's watch this on the Mike Hollow podcast here. This is from 2 days ago. Here we go.
Buddy, you can have it. Okay, so the DSP situation, look, man, like, honest to God, on everything I love, I really left this guy alone because I realized he's a little bit on the spectrum, and I can't do it, man. Like, I would have beat the shit out of him. We had a couple opportunities. He talked a lot of shit. We confronted him one time. Me and my friend Jaha, we confronted him one time in a parking lot. Viscount was there to witness, and this guy was like shaking for his life, and he was basically like saying, "Oh, I'm an alcoholic. Please forgive me." And I honestly noticed at that moment he was a little bit special on the spectrum, and I kind of just dropped it after that, because I'm not gonna fucking go there, dude. Like, I'm not that type of person, man. And I have a real soft spot for special needs. I have a real soft spot for people that have social disorders and disabilities and stuff like that. And I do my best. I've actually I've defended a lot of them in my life, and maybe 50% of the fights I've been in have been defending special people, and I don't say that in a mean way or derogatory way, but there's no reason to make these people's lives worse, even if they're pieces of shit, which I want to say Phil is shown time and time again that he's truly not a good person. But he's special. He's special in that way. And I left him alone. I can't lay a finger on that kind of person, man. It's just not. It's not in my heart. It's not in my blood to do something like that. That's just not cool. But is he a good person? I can say no. Does he deserve a lot of the stuff that's been said about him? I can't say no. But I can't say yes either. So I choose as a person to just ignore him. I choose just to let him be, and he can lay in his own bed that he's made, and hopefully he does okay, but it's really none of my business at this point. He no longer says anything bad about me. He no longer instigates or talks shit, and that's enough for me.
There we go. Okay, so that was the full quote. Didn't want to stop till he got it all out there. So I'll throw it to Meerkat first. What was your thoughts when you first saw this clip?
Oh my God, he made it look like DSP was on Jade level or something. Like the way he described him, it's almost like he was gonna beat up Jade. But he almost made me feel bad for DSP for how special he ends up looking to people.
That's what I thought too.
Like
still, you feel a little bit bad.
I did not feel bad.
You almost feel a twinge of bad, but remember, Piece of Peace said a great thing on Twitter. It says, just because you're special, that's not an excuse for being a cunt, as he put it. Not just piece of words there, and that's what I think too, right? Just because you're special doesn't mean you have to be a cunt, right? And Mr. Ludacris, you'd agree with that verbiage, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you, Stephen and Deb. Please, what do you think?
There's just a sort of beautiful brutality to the straightforward way he says it that makes it like, yeah, you forget sometimes that he can look like this. But obviously, I'm not a proponent of the theory that he's on the spectrum. I think more of his social issues are better explained by his narcissism and his social isolation. But, I can see why people do think that he is, because a lot of the behavioral manifestations are the same. So... Yeah, I can see why people think, and again, just the way he says it so bluntly and so plainly, you're like, yeah, I can't argue that. You've got a point.
This picture in the middle is from Pixar Animation's depiction of this moment, where Philip said he was shaking. I mean, how did Mike say it again? Shaking like a leaf or something, which is there true. But anyways, let's get Mr. Ludacris. When you heard this, what were you thinking when you heard this?
Well, I'm someone who I'm someone who's a big fan of insulting Phil. I've done a fair bit of it in my time, and I can appreciate a good Phil insult. And I think that this was a very good way of insulting Phil, like the nice way of doing it. So it's like, if he would say anything, it could be like, hey, no, I was being nice. But the thing that I thought, and I've never really thought about this before, because obviously I've heard this story before, is, do you reckon there's some sort of alternate timeline where he did punch him, and that DSP went on to actually go, hey, actions have consequences. I don't need to be a massive cunt. Because I think this is the start of like his victim thing. Like, because it's like, hey, this guy was going to beat me up. And then I started going, how many can hear you, guys? Please don't hit me. And he didn't. And then he realized the victim card is the way to go. So that's what I think. I think he's created this DSP, so he has no right to insult him.
Interesting.
Like Frankenstein, like.
Like Mr. Ludacris said, this was a very unique way to like just be so brutal, right? Anyone could say this is a gouty pig roach, but this is like more brutal, right? It is just saying like, I couldn't beat this guy, man. I mean, I just saw it.
It not only is it so brutal, but it allows for him to disconnect and not have to get into this nonsense with DSP, which apparently Mike Watson doesn't want to do, which is fine. As much as I'd love to see it, still putting him down, saying these horrible things about DSP, and then also getting away from it immediately. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's a really good way of distancing himself and keeping at that distance, so you don't have to, right, okay, Phil's going to respond now. Fuck me. I'm going to have to deal with this. It's a great way of staying out of it. Look, here's my piece. Done.
These special needs, that's it. Like, it is what it is, and he moves on. Like,
Review Tech Mongolia says DSP needs to get punched in the face at least once.
Yes.
Like, all of us have done some stupid shit. I'm sure there's repercussions, whether it be a punch or a punishment from parents or something, right? But if
we've all been in a fight, right?
It's everyone has had some negative thing happen due to them doing something stupid, I think, right? And then you learn a little something, right? But maybe if that never happens, this is DSP's the result, Mimsy says his behavior is on point autistic, man. Of if it quacks like a duck, if it toe walks like a raptor, what can you say? Oh, good point. What can you say?
I think people often forget that autism is a spectrum, and maybe he's just in the beginning of the spectrum. You can call it level 1 autism, for example.
Yes.
To put it in. Yeah.
So just for fun, I thought this is not the first time this has happened this year. There was a few other times people suggested Philip might be on the spectrum. Want to play this one real quick? Just a minute.
If you don't want to answer this, then I understand. But
it depends. Let's see what it is.
But let me explain this to you.
Okay.
I have a son who is autistic, severely autistic. Nonverbal, in fact. He doesn't speak. But I've been around a lot of autistic people because of raising my son. He's 12 now. And one of the big criticisms about you is you're constantly asking for support, constantly asking for money. And
I don't know. I've been observing some of this. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever been diagnosed with being on the spectrum or having Asperger's?
When I was growing up,
okay, so that's the first time someone insinuated that could be autistic, and then of course we have this one.
And again, at that moment, he thought, and I'm convinced he still thinks, you can only be assessed as a child. You can't be assessed as an adult. I'm convinced, because he never once says, have I been assessed since, or has anyone said so since? It's always, when I was a child. Nobody said this. When I was a child, nobody mentioned that word. When I was a child, that thing didn't happen. So I'm convinced he thinks that you can only be assessed as a child.
Where we go next?
Drives me mad.
Next, there's Mr. Ludacris featured prominently in this thumbnail, by the way. Here we go.
those people. Help you.
We know you're spreading the plague.
Phil lies so much, it is hard to know what is fake or fact. His bankruptcy files remain king due to them being legal forms. Then you have lesser evidence like the Discord screenshots or even the bank leaks that could theoretically be faked, but the coordination and dedication would make these chances minuscule. Yet Phil gravitates more towards wild theories himself as a way to represent them and paint the tractor community poorly as a way to also dismiss the valid criticism. And this somewhat works with his fans who have been doxxed, are people with disabilities, are socially inept, or are just lonely.
Yeah. I think he has autism.
There we go. So
the delivery of that is great. It's so good.
Shout out to the person who did it last night. Was it Mario Faker? I forget, but
Mario
someone
Faker
did it.
Insinuated that that was Papa Vera, I believe. Was the one faking that.
It's really
that's a good fan fiction, right? Wouldn't you know it, that Philip did respond to this, actually, and he did it very recently. So we finally got a response from Philip on this. It took a day or two after that, maybe a day after. But here we go. This is Philip's response. Finally, he had to respond because, as you might guess, there's a million thousand kick band names about it. And people are just talking about it, trying to get him to talk about it. And here he finally does mention it. This is from Gamerface Gaming. Big ups.
Did I respond to Mike Watson's interview? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. And if Mike Watson said anything about me in 2025, you have to understand something, and this is just real talk.
Which year, Phil?
Mike Watson is the absolute least pertinent person on this planet, the least pertinent person, on this planet to say a word about me. I haven't spoken with the man since my early YouTube days in a YouTube DM. I don't think about Mike Watson. I don't care about Mike Watson. He has no influence on me whatsoever, no power over me, and has nothing to do with me. If he's talking about me in 2025, it just shows that for some reason I'm on his mind still. I do not give two shits about Mike Watson. I actually wish him the best, and I hope he has a great life. I have no association with him whatsoever. He has nothing he can possibly say about me that would be pertinent. So there you go.
All right. So typical, let's say, what's that answer? The cult answer, right? So I don't know what he's saying, but I'm sure he probably knows. If you have heard anything, by the way, let me discredit this guy up front, though, okay? So if he is saying something, here's why you shouldn't listen. Don't listen to him. Doesn't matter. He's not pertinent. I mean, typical playbook for DSP. There's a little more, though. Let's see. 30 seconds left.
Okay. He was very respectful. Well, good then. I'm glad to hear that. Like I said,
he was respectful.
The best. I do not have any beef with Mike Watson at all. I wish him the best, so I hope that that's the case. So
there we go. So there we go.
That's like an N64 character.
It does add, doesn't it? So that was the big response from Philip. One thing he is leaving out, though, is Mike Watson is one of those people that Philip reached out to when he was trying to get interviews and was ghosted by Mike Watson.
No.
So, I mean, he said he reached out to people. I mean, that's my, I would say that's my prediction, because he said he reached out to many people from the FGC. Why would not Mike Watson be in there? But of course, it's very convenient to say he's not important now. So, anyways.
That was really weird. He said that he doesn't have power over him as well. That just seems like such a weird way to put it when talking about somebody else. But whatever.
This is unconfirmed. My speculation, by the way, guys. It's not factual. It's
sort of like what you say when you're trying to deal with being bullied and you're trying to move on past that, and when you have to accept that you've got like a traumatic history with somebody and you want to move past it, you have to be like, they don't have any power over me now.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's very particular language that I don't think if there wasn't something more there that he wouldn't have used. Nobody else would have said it like that. I don't think.
No.
Why would you add that, right? He has no power over me. Okay. Who does? Is there people that do, though? I mean, you want to tell us about them? I don't know.
I just think that's how he's processing the closest thing to a lesson he's ever had. That's like how he's trying to deal with it. Like, it's that traumatic to him.
It's just a weird way to handle it. And he's not going to talk about this because he's not going to clap back on Mike Watson because then he looks like an asshole legitimately. Like, what are you going to say, right?
The fact as well that he's he's talking about me in 2025. He's the least pertinent person ever. Dude, you talk about things that happened in 2010 constantly. You're still going on about being banned from Twitch. What difference does it make how much time has passed? I mean, you're still a bell end now anyway. You're a bell end then. You needed a punch then. You need a punch now.
But I don't know. I guess that's the end of that. This little mini thing by Mike Watson. It was very funny though, and very interesting that this is coming out now. And Philip is not going to act like anything has ever happened. I think it's going to be done. It's going to be a lot of fun band kick names. They already are, but that's the end of that. Meerkat, any last comment on the Mike Watson stuff?
No.
Okay.
I think it's pretty much the most interesting thing about this whole thing is how within a week, like 5 people called him autistic, and it's now kind of like common knowledge that has some sort of autism or is on the spectrum. People just kind of embraced it in the public eye.
I think it's the easiest answer to what's so striking about DSP, and that it's weird that he does that socially. That is unacceptable to the majority of people, and the easiest to cope, I think, for normal style individuals out there is there must be something wrong with it, like spectrum wise, because that's the only excuse, really.
And he can still function, obviously, but not normally, but he can still function. But that doesn't mean you can't have autism, right? There's a big spectrum of people, the whole wide range, you know what I mean? But go ahead, Ludacris.
I was just going to say, I could see him using it as a grift. Like, when you give money to me, you're actually giving money to charity. You're giving money to autism. I can see him going that angle.
You're raising awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
A few funny names based on this. So 220 Watson, Jaha Whitney, 220. We have Leanna Whitney Hangan. That's just a mix. Stroke Face for 220 seconds. OFC Whitney 220 Real. There we go. Let's see. A lot of Watson stuff. I did read my favorite one, which was Watson Whitney June Agree 220. That's beautiful. But yeah, that's a lot of 220 stuff, obviously, as well. Review Tech Mongolia in the house here says DSP is what happens when you don't swallow. Okay, well, that's one thing that does happen. Big ups to Review Tech Mongolia. Dr. Detractor says, I've recently looked into Philly's childhood stories, his school and stuff, in regards to depression, and it leads to a question, Steve. Infantile autism. What's that, Steve? Infantile
I'm not
autism.
sure. That's outside of my area, so I'd have to do a bit of research on that one.
Infantile autism. Yeah. Okay, could be. That's from a Dr. Detractor, so he knows his stuff too.
But there's
so
not much. Like, my impression of his history with depression as a child and all that is like he's making it up. There's not really any consistency, and he doesn't talk about depression on medication the way that people who've been depressed and been on medication talk about it. So I've never really seen much to suggest that he was like depressed or at least had mental health issues while he was in school. And you've only got his word on that, so you know
how good that is.
It's kind of weird that he was able to diagnose himself with depression but not autism. Does his PhD not cover that?
Good point. Mama Polecat says the narcissism dismissal of everything is very dented. Well, I mean, is that narcissistic? I mean, I guess it is, right, Steve? Just dismissing every criticism. That's a very narcissistic thing, right?
That's all sorts of defense mechanisms going on there to deflect however he needs to. So, yeah, that's one of his defense mechanisms, and I think that's like a sign of his narcissism more than anything else.
Yep. Kaiser in the house here says he went on multiple rants saying that detractors are autistic. That's a new thing he started using a few months ago. I think during the King arc, he started saying detractors are hyper-focused. And he wouldn't say, he's not saying a word, but he said hyper-focused. You get it? You get what I'm saying, right, guys? They're all hyper-focused. But anyway.
That was his dig at Duty for that.
Yeah. Duty's hyper-focused. So that means Duty is, guys, they're hyper-focused. But Kaiser says, though, he went on multiple rants saying that detractors are autistic, and right afterward, multiple people say that he's autistic. God has a sense of humor. Right, yeah, the timing gets funny, though. It's coming out. Joe Dub says, something's definitely going on upstairs. Well, that's for sure, Joe Dub. That's a safe bet. The lolcows all have something going on upstairs that's special, right? Ooh, Demater says, Mike replied on that tweet if you want to check it out. Which tweet do you mean, Demater? This one right here? I'll scroll down.
Oh, yeah, I think he did. I saw something about that.
I see autism awareness. I don't see... This is from Renton Hostage 220 Real, so... Super York, there it is. Super Dojo. I got it. Super Dojo. You guys are all amazing. Saw this on my feed because algorithm is all thrown off after seeing one vid. Well, that does happen. All of you putting him in his place are amazing, and thanks for the entertainment. And for the record, if anyone asks, someone in an AMA asked me about DSP, which is why I said anything. There you go. So, big ups. Thanks for that, Demater. You are correct. He did respond to that. Oh, so he's wanted to make sure he didn't bring up DSP out of the blue. Someone asked him and asked me anything. Okay. That makes sense. Big ups Vikes, who says, okay, this is very toxic. Cat's Gunt has power over his schedule. 100% true, says Vikes. We don't know the power level of that thing, so come on. Retro Jim. What if he owns the autism meme and robs it of its power? No, please. He
needs to start an autism charity where all the money and all the proceeds go directly to him as the sole beneficiary. I think that's the grift, guys. That's how we ruin it.
There we go. And
he's donated to charity before. All he needs to do is do it again, but to a different charity. So,
yeah. Pop Polecat says they ordered Taco Bell last night because apparently Cat messed up cooking tacos. Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that.
What the fuck?
You serious?
Yeah. She was making something and she screwed it up because the ingredients made it and she didn't taste right. So yeah, he went right. Fine, we'll order donut. Got tacos, and he complained about how soggy they were. I think.
Oh my God. I can't with this, man. So this guy has been having. For like 15 years, everything he tells the internet, they make fun of him for it.
Yes.
And he never stops to the point where now they're not just making fun of him, they're making fun of his fucking wife because he makes her look like a complete idiot.
Yes.
I can't.
And keeps feeding them.
He lacks that filter, doesn't he? Because you got to remember, the phrase that passed to this man's lips was, my mum combed my hair until I was 17.
Yeah,
if you were to say that, how many alarm bells would go, no, this is not something I want to be saying on the internet? But he just has no fucking... It's like afterwards when people are making fun of it, he's probably like, what? That's a
he's got no empathy. As a narcissist, he's lacking empathy. He's not going to be able to think, hang on a minute, how am I making my wife look when I tell this anecdote? So,
and I think that's why it was so easy for...
He can blame her, she ruined the food, she broke the Hoover, she's the reason why the light fell down, and he doesn't think because he don't want to accept responsibility for these things which are likely his fault.
I would think a narcissist, when he talks about something embarrassing, he would think to himself, wait, this is gonna make me look bad and stupid, so I'm not gonna say it. But he just doesn't even have that filter.
Yep.
No. he just it's a thing that happened, so it's something I can tell to stream because I don't go out,
Exactly, yeah.
I don't do other things, so my life is just this, and therefore, this is an amusing anecdote. Chat will appreciate it, but I can't make it look like it was my fault. So yeah,
isn't it like I don't know if it's an intelligence thing or maybe it's just narcissist thing, but like, you know, if let's say your wife does do something stupid and you got to tell someone about it, you say it in like the nicest way possible in your mind, right? Like, yeah, my wife was doing the vacuum cleaner and something must have happened to the vacuum cleaner and it broke. You don't say, just straight up say like, my wife broke the vacuum cleaner, right? Like on the internet, I'm saying. Even if you think that's true, you know?
He's talking about her like he's a stand-up comedian. Oh yeah, my bitch wife broke the vacuum cleaner. Isn't she fat and stupid? I know, right?
Yeah, you know, and also that shit about, remember they're playing that game where they have a rather robust main character, and he's saying fat shit to that, like I don't think she needs the treats. It's like, come on, man, you know, like.
That new story game he's playing.
And I'm not saying you can't say that.
Life is Strange sort of game.
She's large, okay? You could say that, but then you don't say shit like, I think the mom's enabling them. So that would mean you are enabling Catherine then, sir? Is that safe to say? Just because they live in the same household and there's food there? Right? Okay, so Philip is also an enabler. Got it. Cool. Might as well call him a feeder then. You know? Like, I don't know if that's intelligence or narcissism or just all mixed into one, you know?
Maybe it's always multiple disabler. He's trying to disable her, so she's no longer in the way.
Disabler. Big ups to Pigpen Lord of Dirt, who says, in Phil's gin brain, clout is power. Pair that with his narcissism. He thinks if he doesn't have clout, then anyone he deems small doesn't have it either. Okay.
But
so
here's the thing about clout. You don't get clout by like asking for it or being mad about not getting it. You get clout by kind of building it up. You can't have it like he goes on Kino Casino and then they tell their audience, you go and be Phil's audience now, and now he has a bunch of clout. That's not how it works. You need to build it, and people need to have trust in you as a content creator so there can be more of them, and eventually you're gonna get clout.
Yep. And he also thinks that he's very hurt by not having the clout he thinks he's deserved sometimes. Remember he said like very recently, like, detractors didn't fuck up my reputation. I could be sharing this good news with everybody that people would actually be listening to, these idiots. And like, you know, he thinks his takes would change
thousands of viewers. If they weren't detractors.
Yeah. So
and again, that's how he's seen that. It's like, that's not people hate me and they're going elsewhere to watch. He's like, seeing that as you stole that from me. If it weren't for you, those people would be watching me. So
Well, so deluded as well with that. He actually thinks that if the restreamers like went away, that everyone in the chat there would just go, "Oh well, fuck it. I guess we'll just have to watch Phil." And while I'm there, might as well give him some money.
Yeah. He thinks there's no restreamers. People would watch Raw, like not Raw Phil. I'm talking Raw Dog it. Right, definitely.
And his whole complaining about clout is pretty disrespectful to his audience that he already has, because he still has more people watching him than the majority of streamers ever. Because there's a bunch of people that just stream to like 10, 20, 50 people. And he got hundreds showing up so he can show him his feet and his underwear.
And his Lego set.
Oh, yeah, the Legos.
That's also a thing.
I was out before and I sold them.
Yeah.
Like 35 quid, nearly bought a pack.
Oh, God, come on. And he thinks because they're 18 plus that they're very difficult, by the way. He's saying that. So he has 18 plus. Guys, these are very difficult, okay, guys? Just so you know, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, but lads, we know what he's like at following instructions. 4-step recipe for a roast, and he fucked it up and blamed the instructions. This is going to be incredible. Watching him follow Lego instructions.
Yeah. I think it'd be kind of hype, you know, like to fail and say, "Oh, what the fuck? What is this? What is this saying? It's fucking instruction manuals, idiots." It should be fun. By the way, that was one of the only like. He was asked for suggestions for the next goal, and Only Iced Coffee was in chat. I was there watching this one. And he rattled off like 4 suggestions, and Phil shot him down like a bitch, all of them. But the Lego one was from Only Iced Coffee. He's like, okay, yeah, we could do that one. Yeah, because got to keep Only Iced Coffee happy, obviously. Big ups to Who's Poppin', who says, Phil is the lost generation of autism in adults. That could be. Anime 109 says, if you saw regarded Phil making your chicken sandwich in Burger King, would you eat it? Someone like him? Like
no,
Chef Sakai, my bad, not OIC. Yeah, I'm wrong. I would not eat it. No. Jeff Joestar says, is the autism combined with being a narcissist a reason for the unfiltered things he says? What do you think, Steve?
Possibly, yeah, because again, it's lacking the social cues and the inability, to perceive the social cues and social norms, and the self-centeredness and the obliviousness of narcissism to make this unholy stew of I don't really care about how I make my wife look to the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, possibly.
Dissension says, so he hated eating panda, now rejects cat's taco.
Cat got that tuna casserole.
Oh,
more of a tuna casserole.
Wait, are they Trader Joe's? It's an old reference.
Lyrical Thesis says, Philly Jow, Vienna sausage, the May 1st stranger, scenes from an Italian guest room, working on some heat. You guys have anything in the works? Oh, song-wise? Oh, don't worry. We'll be locked and loaded for King of the Ring. I already got some songs working, Lyrical Thesis. Don't worry. We'll be locked and loaded. Big ups, Anti-Distortion with the 10 gifts. You know what that means. It is time. Get those claws back. Come on. Tired of it. Get them on. Jasper's been going too long without claws. The purr.
He excelled my wildest dreams with that.
The purr. Definitely worked the hour it took me to green screen cat claws for that one, let me tell you. That was a lot of fun. Vikes in the house says, imagine an Inception movie inside Philip's dreams. I don't want to think about that. I do not want to think about that. I want him to explain the plot of Inception first, right? Which he tried to do.
Oh, God, one of his reviews.
Oh, yeah. So it's like a dream, all right, guys? It's a dream, and then you have another dream. It happens at the same time, okay? Okay, anyways, it is time. Let's get into your 3 favorite numbers, okay? And those 3 numbers are 220, all right? So, the day after we had Broside Phil on the show, Broside dropped this video. And I think it's all worth watching. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But there's 3 very impactful moments from Officer Leanne. Not Leanna, Leanne. And I have those ready for us, and we'll get our takes on each one, okay? So first up, let's hear about the first one here.
Visual, and I'm just going to kind of remind you about what he said instead, okay? So on 1/15/21 at approximately 17:31 hours, you were dispatched to threats report by phone. You made contact with the RP, who stated that he had received 3 emails from an unknown person that were threatening in nature. Subject explained that he is a crowd-funded paid gamer, and he games at least 8 hours a day, live streaming. Is any of this ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, that means Philip told that to the officer, by the way. In his report about being death threats from someone, he explained what he does, and he's a crowdfunded individual gamer, and he used the buzzwords, which is very funny.
It's a shame that he didn't say, like, I'm a former pro-fighting tournament player.
He might have.
Down?
Used to work at a helicopter company.
Yeah,
do you remember when he did it on the bankruptcy call?
Yeah.
He did it like the most tortured way you could possibly describe being a streamer. I just want. He was exactly like that. He was exactly like what you're picturing when he spoke to her. Definitely.
Too Aqua, Too Dank. Yes, it is 100% real. This is real. What's happening right now is, I should have gave more context. Broside Phil is reading the public police report on the matter that Philip called about, right? And that's what he's explaining it to her to see if she can remember this gentleman, which she just said, I do remember him. And now she's going to talk about what she remembers about Philip from that police report when she handled it back then, okay?
Because I believe he was swatted later on after that.
Yes, he was. You'll remember great.
Yeah, because his place was covered in cameras on the outside, and we were like,
great.
Yeah, because his place was covered in cameras on the outside, and we were like, wow, that we see that and we think, grow up, you know. But
so another thing here is, she says, another interesting point. She says covered in cameras. Covered in cameras. That's not. There's
on the
cameras
outside, by the way. Because
covered
the way
in
I
cameras,
understood it, because the first time I missed this, I thought there were cameras inside, but no, there were cameras on the outside.
Yeah. Covered in cameras, and she said the first thing they think of when they see that many cameras is a grow op, which would be to make sure nothing, cops aren't coming over when you're growing your marijuana, all right? So that's where we're at, okay? And now Philip did respond to this. I'm going to play the response after we play all the kind of interesting news stuff.
It's a bit like Five Nights at Freddy's, isn't it? You can just imagine him sitting like looking for detractors, so there's various different cameras.
So far, I mean, before we move on, I think personally that this means that Philip paid for a security package, right? Because Philip is not putting any cameras up himself. He can't run an OBS, right? He doesn't know how to put up cameras. He doesn't know how to set up a system. It's very easy to do for anyone that knows about computer stuff. But for Philip, that means he paid a company to come out, and I bet he pays monthly now still for that, like that service they're doing of watching the stuff, right? Now, he will say how Philip explains sometimes is that there is a community cameras, right? But that doesn't mean covered in cameras to me. You know what I mean? Community cameras.
If that was the case, she wouldn't have mentioned it that way. Like, she specifically said his house was covered in cameras, no?
Yes.
So...
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, of course, we'll never know. And Wandering Monk has a good point, too. There's no security company on the bank leaks. That's true, too. But who knows, right?
He did get cameras put in. I think he definitely went through a company, though, because I don't think he would be doing that on the Wakando that he pays for in the community. That seems just like another one of those things that they would not want him doing personally. He can't even cut his own grass, let alone install cameras.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people are saying tongue of ring cameras, right? Well, still, someone has to install them for him. He's not putting those up, guys. You think he can do that? I don't, personally.
If he did, he'd do it on stream as well. Like, he would stream that.
I think it's too much work for him. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, he's not doing that. Would Comcast do that? They're the internet. I don't think they're into security. I don't know, though. Maybe.
Better use Velcro tape or double-sided tape if he did.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the cameras thing. And again, we're going to talk about it again when Philip responds to these things.
Dude, what if it's just webcams? That's why he's been buying so many webcams. They just suddenly break and disappear.
So it could be
just running daisy-chained extensions outside.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why his PC runs like shit.
Yeah, with like a USB hub. With like 60
outside. I just think it's weird that she said covered with cameras. That's not something like a normal situation, right? And that's clearly something she remembered.
What I know from police officers is when they describe something, they use the specific words that describe exactly what they saw. They're very detail oriented.
Yeah, and it's not. It wasn't. There's cameras. It wasn't. I saw a few cameras. It was covered in cameras, right? Which is interesting. Big ups to Broside Phil in the house. Says, imagine my surprise tuning into this. Big ups, Broside Phil. You're a legend for this one, for sure. We have new numbers joining the lexicon now forever, thanks to this, sir. Joe Dub says, ALT, you had the first Wakando stream on earlier on WPIG TV, and it's amazing. Phil didn't want to break in the floor with Panda. He said, I'll just stream, okay? You want to... He didn't want to break in the floor, Panda. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah, we don't need to do that. Come on, guys. No thanks. The Pasta Maker says, I'll die on the hill that the cameras are from the previous owner. While I don't believe they ran a chop shop, they probably had expensive vehicles. Could that be? That could be another thing. Maybe they had a lot of cameras because they were having expensive vehicles in there. Who knows?
I feel like he would have mentioned that in discussions of like, during the chop, they had all these cameras, or when he was moving in, like he would have listed it as some sort of benefit that he maybe could hook them back up,
Good point. Okay, next moment of real circumstance here for me was this moment here. So listen to the officer's wording here.
So then he goes on afterwards when I'm not talking. He goes on a little show of his own. And he basically said, of course, if this woman remembered and what she was doing was wrong, she would lie out of self-preservation. I would love to hear your opinion on that line of thinking.
Well,
so remember, Philip said after the stream that if she was lying, the officer could be lying for self-preservation. So if Broside Phil did talk to the officer, she's going to lie, of course, for self-preservation purposes. And that's what
even though she's no longer an officer.
Yes, that's the thing that normal human would understand. And Roadside Phil asked for a comment on that.
I would love to hear your opinion on that line of thinking.
Well, see, and that's somebody right there who's already got a compromised moral compass. I mean, he's up to bad stuff in himself, so he thinks everyone else has the same degraded moral compass. My commission for Washington State actually expired.
So that is a compromised moral compass. The officer says DSP is that because just because he would do fucked up thing, that means she would do fucked up thing. So there we go on that.
And
I
really like this theme of the show at the minute with the people insulting DSP in nice ways. Like, it's so different.
Okay, Broside Phil in the house wants to add this. Okay, I will read this. Broside Phil sent me. This is from the officer's police report. Okay, I'm going to read it for you here. Phil added that he has a home security to keep him and his family safe. He wanted to call about this issue because he has never received multiple threats like this before. He was also worried about being swatted again since it's been happening more often. So Phil added he has home security is the key point from that police report. He said he has home security. Interesting.
I don't know what the point is, to be honest. I don't know what he's thinking.
Well,
someone's gonna try breaking in his house in a gated community.
His gated community? Exactly.
You wanna A-log him. And if someone was crazy enough to try and doing that, the fucking cameras wouldn't stop him. And now they know he has cameras, so good job, Phil.
Comcast does offer a home security package. Maybe,
okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's the business line. I don't know. Who fuck knows?
They could add that to the business line costs. Because this dude is paying like $350 for internet a month because he got two lines, one business, which means top of the line business, which less whatever.
Probably
the
had a Comcast engineer to install it. Then there you go.
Hey, these 5K business expenses that we've never got, maybe that's factored into that. Like, it could be a business guy. Yes, because if people can get to my house, they can kill me. Then I can't stream. Genius. It's a business expense.
It's business related. I still have it.
What else do we have? Bodyguards, dogs.
Yo, that would go hard. If he really built that moat he's always joking about.
Yes.
Why
do you think he's feeding the woodland critters? That's another defense force. That's why he
his
keeps
army.
them around.
I like that.
Yeah. Send in the
He
squirrels.
wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't be able to if he built the moat though, because he wouldn't be able to get over it to get the fat balls that he leaves outside.
In reality, though, it's just his Mass Effect gun, isn't it? That's the only fucking bit of security he's got. He's just gonna come up, stand there with Zelda jammies, his Sonic hat, and his Mass Effect gun, going, "I'm gonna protect my creatures." That's it.
The portal gun. All right, guys. The orange gate is way far away. You want me to shoot this blue gate? I'll do it right under your feet right now. Okay, so take a step away. Frank asks, "What's the lore behind the Phil Cat driving pick?" That was just someone that I don't know who it was or whatever. No one took credit for it. Let's say credit, but
they just
happened,
knew
right?
who he was, didn't they? They weren't a detractor, but they sort of knew who he was, so they took a picture and then forgot about it for a year.
Yeah,
and then they were in a conversation with one of their mates, and they said something about DSP, and then he was like, "Oh, I've got this picture."
Yeah,
and then it burst onto the scene, and you cried a bit.
No. Similar to the mall date picture, that was just someone saying, "Oh yeah, I forgot I had this" or something, and he posted on Twitter like a year ago, but just no one saw it then. It's like the second mall date picture or whatever. But anyway, just people take it and that's it. Papa Polka in the house says, "I can buy security cameras with video recording through my ISP. Second business line is for the cameras confirmed. Look up Home Life." So that's just like Atlas said. It would be possible for Comcast, I guess, to be running those security cameras. But, I mean...
I'll bet he was upsold as well. I'll bet they were like, "Well, we do a package where we have 2 cameras, but if you get the package with 12 cameras, we'll give you 33% off for 3 months."
You need the
Super
package.
Ultra Defense Max Pro.
And another reason you'd be so upset about the Comcast detractor is now they're in charge of his home security potentially. They're erasing the footage.
Which camera is that? Oh, that's the Pandalia's hot camera. Oh, okay. Gotcha. What's that camera name? That is called Cat's Gunt Reel. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, next up.
This one has 220 megapixels.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Last thing from the interview I want to cover today, and that is a certain number comes up, and we're going to hear it now. Let's go.
Well, I can't see any repercussions for me either way. If he's like, oh, I recorded it, and she said this, and I'm like, that's kind of an outlandish thing for me. Of course he didn't. But I'm like, I was very cautious when I would talk to people to not give onlys or we don't do that, and there were times and calls I referred people to the FBI, but that was if I was tired of talking to them and they were what we call a 220, kind of mental, and that was just tired of talking to them and they were what we call a 220, kind of mental.
Kind of mental is what Philip was described as, which is pretty wild.
I think you should let Broside Fellas laugh ring out, because there's a moment where he's like, I've just done something amazing.
Yeah. And there were times and calls I referred people to the FBI, but that was if I was tired of talking to them and they were what we call a 220, kind of mental, and that was just
you have no idea how much that like you just gave me icing on top of icing on top of icing on top of a cherry on the cake. Oh my God, you were a sweetheart. Thank you.
There we go. So that is the 220 meme, kind of mental and tired of talking to them, which means that How
many people you think can he run into that just have that kind of come to the same conclusion about him, that he's mentally unwell, before he actually takes a look at himself? I mean, how many people have to cross before his path?
Yeah, No,
I guarantee you, everyone in the grocery store the day he lost his reusable bags, where he's running around the store going, "What? You're right here, dude." I bet everyone there was like 220. We've got 220 on aisle 3.
Oh yeah, it's that same guy. The same guy. Just forget about it. Okay, Wandering Monk says, "Oh, the security cameras are on. I didn't know that. Hello."
Well done.
Salut. Bienvenue. That's my favorite. Bienvenue. All right, Lyrical Thesis in the house says, is Phil really stopping anyone with the security cameras? No, but he can call the police right away. That's what he wants to do. He's not going to stop anyone. He'll
they
just
do
the
spawn
police.
there.
Yes.
And he does have the axes. You guys forgot about the home defense hatchets. So
yeah.
That's what he means when he says he's got home security.
Yep.
He means that.
I hope that's not true, but you might be true. That might be the truth. Jay Wusso says, yeah, go ahead.
Also, I was just going to say, in my head canon, right, when she was interviewing him, he's wearing the Sonic hat and the gunner glasses. So she's just looking at him, they go, 220.
It's to prove he's a full-time gamer, dude. Come on, he had to wear it or she wouldn't have believed him.
It's the uniform.
Jay Wusso says, Jasper has an RGB camera collar. Look out, boys. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Jasper Cam. That's too clever, though. That won't
Jasper
happen.
Cam would be hype, actually.
Dent Style News Network says, if you guys completely misunderstand Phil, he may be a 220 by our standards. By the standards of a lizard man living in a decaying skin suit, he's perfectly normal. That's true. That is true. He is normal for that. He's done a great job assimilating. Okay. So, next, we have to get to... we're going to get to messages, too. So, if you have a message in the line or you want to call in, go ahead now. Link below. We do have to get to the response to all this nonsense, because there was a response given. Okay, so first, this is from Dragonism, by the way. Dragonism KF on Twitter. It starts with this, okay? So...
was in it, but I didn't.
We're going to start with not directly addressing things, but just kind of like doing that soft address of like, hey, people are bringing up old shit kind of thing. So here we go.
Was in it, but I didn't look. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
I love the Bandicam.
The stuff that people are still obsessing over and bringing up, oh, he's so dishonest about this, is stuff from so far in the past. Is stuff that doesn't affect today at all.
Yep.
Oh, in the past, he was begging while he didn't need money, or he the money, but then he spent it on something else. That was 5 years ago.
Okay, so in the last 3 days, Philip has said, guys, I'm not going to start the stream until I get a contribution. So, I mean, it's not 5 years ago, it's 3 days ago. But, okay, we'll just forget about that. Go ahead.
It's 2025. I'm not in bankruptcy anymore. I'm good. I'm not destitute. I'm not sitting here begging you to pay my mortgage. Right.
Well, here's the thing. Well, yeah, it's even worse now. You're begging for shamrock shakes. What's better? You know what I mean? I mean, what's better? But all right.
So
yeah, or even worse, just begging for fun, or begging because it's okay. I guess because now we're at the point where Kino Casino justified his begging. They gave him a good reason why it's okay to beg, because they beg too, and everyone begs, and begging is fun and chill and interactive. So now I guess he just begs for the fun of it.
I've got it. Begging is based. That's right.
How fucking low have you got to be?
I feel dirty saying that.
how low have you got to be to look at Triple P and just go, yeah, he seems like a sound like fucking guy. Like, he says begging's cool, it must be cool. I mean, Jesus, if that's like your fucking like idea of cool, then
based, yeah.
Well, if that's your only friend, and I do want to friend.
I call him Triple P.
You know what I mean? I mean,
no, they're professional acquaintances. Come on, ALT. They're not friends. No personal
we didn't talk
feelings.
about that. Yeah, did we? We didn't talk about that because before the last 2 days when Iron Chef has been around, Philip was not getting the goals that often, right? And stuff was going down. He did officially say, guys, when it comes out that they snake me or whatever, I mean, it won't be a big deal, guys. It's not going to, I mean, I don't even care. It's going to be nothing. Like, he's now accepted that.
I made enough money at this point that if they want to do that, they can do that. Good luck to them, and I'm out.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Completely cocked.
We can totally watch that video if we have some more time, because I remember I was so shocked by this, I had to make a video about it, like shitting on him, because this was an absurd segment.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so here's still about the thing. Don't worry about what I'm doing now, guys.
But the problem is that some people are so effing obsessed.
Effing
obsessed. With these things from the past,
censorship.
And act like they're still pertinent to today, or that they're still happening today. They're not.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's to the point where it's kind of like, it's sick behavior because it's not something that I can change. Like, how do I change someone from being insanely obsessed when what they're saying is ridiculous and doesn't apply to reality today? I don't know. I really don't know how to stop that behavior, because it's not me creating it anymore. It's basically them not being able to be willing to look at reality anymore. They want the negative thing to be true, and so they wish it to be true, and in their mind it is true, even if it isn't, right?
Right.
No, I'm not sitting here asking people to go crazy beyond their means to contribute to my content. No, I'm not milking people who are on disability. No, I'm not milking people and if it isn't, right? No, I'm not sitting here asking people go crazy beyond their means to contribute to my content. No, I'm not milking people who are on disability.
Well,
no, I'm not saying, please pay me money or else I will lose my home and I will lose everything. I don't do that.
Yeah, it's way
There
worse
was
than
a
that
time.
Anymore.
No, you're saying, like, please pay me to open a treat box thing and I'll have a sweet or some shit.
Yeah, you know, that's even worse, man. I mean, at least a mortgage gives you a house to live in. Now you're begging for Japanese snacks. But here's the thing. At the time he was doing the begging for the mortgage, he was also saying he wasn't doing it then, too. So, you know, there's that. Next, we're not done yet on this one.
So,
and
thing
also,
is,
please.
I want to talk about the milking of the disability people.
Yes.
Even if it's not the intent of what he wants to do, his behavior and his manipulation tactics only work on 220s.
Yes.
So that's why people say he takes advantage of 220s, because that's the only people who are going to buy this horse shit. Everybody else is making fun of it and thinks it's stupid.
It's the same thing when he says that he's not asking people to go beyond their means. It's like, well, you don't know that, because only 220s are going to donate to you, and then when you continue to ask and you continue to ask, they're going to keep trying to continue to give until they can't. And some of them literally go bankrupt and like live in a van.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he mentioned that. He mentioned that as well, didn't he? He said, like, no one's ever gone back. I don't know if it's in this bit or not. Shit. But yeah, he said, I don't know if, like, no one's ever gone bankrupt to support me. And everyone was like, Timbo?
Yeah, that did literally happen.
At least 3.
Thing is, as well, when you've got only like 5 people supporting you and 4 of them are only iced coffee, and you're saying like people living beyond their means and stuff, like you expect 300 a day, and even when you hit 300, you're like, guys, maybe we can get it higher, get another go. So it's like, how many 300s a day plus until these like 4 or 5 people like are beyond their means? I mean, what? How is only iced coffee like so fucking rich?
That's the real question, right? Who knows?
When does the money tap get turned off?
I don't know. I mean, that's Philip hopes that never happens for sure, but
he is Roger from American Dad.
But I mean, the thing is, Philip will never understand that part, Meerkat. Your point, like you have to be a descriptive word to want to be in a chat where the only thing that takes place from the streamer, or at least 75% of the content, is asking how much money we can get from you. You have to be a descriptive word. But if you are a descriptive word, you might not see that, right? So there's
My point more is,
yes,
in order to be the perfect audience member that Phil wants you to be, you have to be a 220. It's almost like once you read the requirements, you're like, yeah, you got to be like that. Because that includes not questioning anything he says, or not challenging any of his opinions, not questioning where his money goes, and so on and so forth. So there you go. The math checks out, and it spells 220.
If you went to anyone outside the Snortverse and showed a picture of Phil and said, "What would you call a person who would give $150 to this man to eat a cheeseburger?" What would their answer be? It wouldn't be, a sane individual, someone who likes fun and meaningful content. No, it'd be a 220.
Dude, 150 only gets you a sweet 1,500.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Come on, get it right. Get it right.
I'm just going to be honest with everyone.
Okay, here we go.
If you're obsessed about...
Remember, this doesn't mean he's going to be honest. It means listen up. Listen up.
It's just a figure of speech.
Just listen up.
I'm just going to be honest with everyone.
Please.
If you're obsessed about one point from 5 to 10 years ago, you can't get over because you don't think you ever got the truth out of me, move on. Because it doesn't apply. It's completely worthless. The point you're obsessed with, it's mania.
So this is, don't worry about the stuff coming out from 5 years ago. It doesn't matter anyway. Just move on. So
but the second that you move on, he tells you that you're moving the goalpost, right? The second you want to address something else, all of a sudden, nothing is good enough. It doesn't matter what I answer.
Yeah.
Also, it's the detractor paradox. You're simultaneously over-fixated on one thing and constantly shifting and moving the goalpost onto hundreds of other things.
Yes. So
there's also no expiry date on cunty behavior. Just because it happened 5 years ago, and he'll go, well, I did admit to it. I acknowledged it. It's like, no, you didn't admit to all of it. You're still lying about several things. One, you've never apologized. And not only that, you've bragged about not apologizing. So it's like you haven't learned from it. You're going to do it again. I mean, the Krabby Patty scam was what? A few months back. So 5 years ago, you're still doing this shit. It's just for burgers now instead of bankruptcy, which is like a step in the right direction, is it? I don't know.
Also, like one of the a really good way to get to know a person and to understand what sort of person they are is to look at the things they've done. And you do that by looking at their past. When someone's recorded this much of their past, there's a lot to look at. So yeah. When he's bringing out the pertinent stuff, he's like lost. He can't reply, so he's like a tell.
Bingo.
Actual mental illness. There's no reason to be worrying about that shit that doesn't even apply anymore. Right? I've admitted that I spent tons
that means a lot coming from you, 220.
Money on mobile game. I've admitted that I was bad with my money. And I blew it or didn't spend it right.
Doing a lot of lifting that term.
Backed up on my taxes. I've admitted that I asked for money in ways that I never should have, and that was years and years ago.
Okay,
right?
So just forget about it.
Different. So what's the point?
Why are we talking about
What are these ways that he shouldn't have asked for money, and how are they different from what he does now when he's blatantly just saying, "Give me money"?
I think he's stuck on
I would kind of understand someone begging for money when they're in an emergency. When it's the last resort is just to beg for money. I would more understand that than to just casually beg for money because you can't do anything better.
But is in his defense, what do you class as an emergency? Is it I'm losing my house, or is it my massive wife wants a cheeseburger? Both are
That's the
equally
thing.
like kind of like fucking.
You're as short-sighted as he is.
Or my parents might die one day. So
Yes, my parents aren't more immortal. I don't know if you know this, guys.
if you guys didn't know this, my parents aren't immortal. Please tip. Thank you.
There was
Honestly.
a glorious one. Sorry, quickly. There was a glorious one during one of the moanings about the neck where he went, and my dad, who is older than me, his back's bad as well. Clarifying your dad's older than you, Phil. Really appreciate that one.
Thank you.
Can we please move on? Like, really, can we? Aren't we at a point now where things are different? Look at what's going on with me now, right? I'm doing consistent content.
What is his cut-off then?
I know.
You know,
what?
like,
Look at me now. What does that mean? Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, if like the whole point of arguments is to be pertinent, what's the cut-off point? How long ago is it before it's not pertinent? You know,
we need to set a
yesterday,
statute.
a week, a year.
Yeah.
We need a statute of limitations on cunty behavior for sure. We need this in the books.
Pick it up.
Also, do you reckon he has a word of the day calendar and it just every day is pertinent?
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. He just spams that word so much.
Also, it's very funny that he says things in the past or, you just forget about them when he brings them up constantly to try to get clout for them. Like, guys, as you know, been a content creator since 2009. I was one of the hottest guys in the Street Fighter community in 2011. Fourth place at Evo. Ever heard of it? Okay, so, but, if you bring up anything negative, that's past the statute of limitations for cunty behavior. But there is no statute of limitations for cool stuff that Philip says he did. That's really cool.
Now, right? I'm doing consistent content with other creators. That's good content. I'm branching out and playing different kinds of games. My setup is completely different, right? I'm doing 2 angles on my show. Right? Awesome.
Oh my god. Hold on. Show over. There's two angles? That being said, it's done. Fuck it. I mean, this guy is cool. Honestly. 2 angles?
I don't care how many people he robbed. Look at these 2 camera angles, folks.
Whoa.
You imagine that, man. This person's such a boring cunt. Yeah, but have you seen him from this angle? Oh, fuck me. He's not entertaining.
I'm gonna be a goddamn goalpost shifting detractor, and I'm gonna say that it would have been a lot better if he had 3 angles. I prefer my streams with 3 angles.
From the hallway, for
See?
sure.
You don't care about
side angle.
criticism. You don't even care about criticism, guys. See? Moving the goalposts, as usual. Assholes. You're not interested in seeing Philip improve. That's another thing he said, by the way. These guys, these critics, they don't care about seeing me improve. Whoever
But
cared
Phil,
about
then
seeing
you
him
could buy
improve?
you could buy another webcam. Buy another webcam and another computer to plug that into. Buy more things.
I want to ask you about that, Mr. Ludacris, because you're from back in the day, right? And Philip seems to be remembering this time when there were critics that did want to see him improve. Is there anything to that? Because he still says that. He said that this week about like the critics, the detractors, they don't want to see me improve. Like, yeah, no shit. But he thinks like people somehow wanted to. There is people like that exist.
Not to my knowledge, no. Yeah, like you, I've struggled to think back, and I swear, unless I'm misremembering, that he has fairly recently said something about the Sons of Kojima, and he was like going, "It's different now. They wanted to kind of see me improve," and it's like, no, they didn't. That's not like what they did at all. And also, you've gone on record of saying, "I don't watch that stuff. I didn't even know." But yet now. Yeah, no, to my knowledge, I don't know anyone off the top of my head from back in the day or whatever that was trying to help him improve. No, he's a fucking twat. Like, I don't know.
Quick note about that as well. Also, you're the sort of person who's like repeatedly portrayed the Sons of Kojima as a bad thing, and now all of a sudden they're lionized because they were like, well, they did bad things, but they also wanted to see me improve. It's like, no,
what? Hey,
you don't get to twist it like that. No.
Cypher is saying first-gen detractors who were fans originally did. Like the beginning of the beginning, we talk about like King of Weight, King of Weight HD, those kind of level, like the first people.
Cult leader.
Yeah.
They were literal like dissenters, though. They used to be DSP fans, and then they were like, "No, I don't like DSP." And then they made videos about why they don't like DSP, and he called them haters and called them jealous.
Yeah,
and that's where we are now.
Yeah. I mean, the King of Hate HD literally just said like a word like, greed, and would put like begging, and then it'd be like, jealousy. And then, I mean, their videos are just, Philip would say they're out of context, but in reality, they are very in context. Here's what Philip said that shows how jealousy is of other people. And that was it. It was kind of very simple, interesting way to put it together, But yeah, Philip would say they're haters, and they're mentally stunted. But all right, here we go.
I seem to remember a time when there was people. I remember one guy's name was Voodoo. He was a former fan of DSP, and he made a video. He even bought merch and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not putting words in the guy's mouth. I'm just saying, I don't know if maybe someone like him wanted to see Phil do better. There was a few people that, with Panda Lee, like they were like, for fuck's sake, Phil, she's ruining your content. Get rid of her. So I guess you could argue they wanted to see him do that.
I guess. Yeah. Voodoo is a guy that, I mean, this shows you the time, how big a deal this was. This video here from Voodoo, 11 years ago, it says why I unsubscribed from DSP Gaming, 55,000 views. So this must have been big news when this happened back in the day, And this was a guy that explained why he did. Like, I bought DSP shit, and I'm done with it. And I can't remember exactly what that was about. Was it Patreon? I can't remember. It was 2014 that would be. So it could have been Patreon, I guess. But anyways, it was a big deal back then when someone dissented and made a video about it. Because, how dare you question the king, But anyways, big ups to Wagon Burner Ken, who says he probably has a panic room as a business expense. That'd be pretty expensive, isn't it?
Warren says the office is the panic room, like the studio, and they just get in the closet and they hide there. Every time a car passes outside, they just run into the closet.
Sit on unopened Xbox 360s and stuff.
But it explains why his office is that layout, so that you can't just storm right in through the door. You have to shuffle in sideways and then come back this way around the table.
It's an obstacle course. That cat can factually based cannot enter anymore. That's just factually based.
Why are we harping on back when I was some rinky idiot?
Okay.
Right? Was blowing all his money on nonsense. Didn't even have a dollar to spend on his groceries because he was so irresponsible. Why are we talking about that when that was over 5 years ago?
Because it's funny.
He says he drinks from his level 1 mug.
I don't get it.
It was not 5 years ago. He was saying that he couldn't buy groceries. If I recall correctly, he was doing it at least a year ago, saying that he wasn't going to be able to buy groceries when he was playing the last Assassin's Creed game.
Correct. And the lunch meat sandwich was 2 years ago, I think. So, I guys, I'm gonna eat a lunch meat sandwich. That's literally then.
I don't. It's like people can't understand that people have the capacity to change for the better.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that, then you shouldn't stick around the people who don't like.
Okay.
Seriously.
Got it.
Thank you. Captain DCW says, I call this the evolution of Phil. I appreciate you saying that. Really, I do. You notice the stuff that they have problems with?
Yeah.
I don't talk about. They bring it up. It's like they're obsessed. They can't believe that Phil changed for the better. So now they have to bring up the things from 5 years ago over and over and over.
But of course, dude, of course you're not going to talk about the stuff that makes you look bad and people criticize you for.
Yeah.
I mean,
no one's going to do that.
Let me bring up how they say I'm a dick.
Yeah,
This is the kind of word nonsense he does all the time that I'm convinced only works on his audience to make him be in a good light, because he's actually saying negative things about himself. Yes, he does. I don't discuss things that are negative about me. Okay, so then it sounds like you're guilty if I'm hearing you right.
Yeah. What negative things are you talking about? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, anyone else find the irony of the phrase "the evolution of Phil" and the same week that he ate that chocolate bar like a fucking Sasquatch?
We have a clip of that. We can play it right now. It's amazing.
Here we go. Let's get a little eating content here. Great thumbnail. Okay, hold on. Describe what the fuck is this expression trying to give you here? What's the thought? What is this? It looks like he's holding in a fart right now.
Looks like he slept in that shirt.
What? This is not a detractor video, guys. It's not.
Like when he'd go off on one, being like, yeah, my back was so bad I nearly lost control of my bowels. Do you understand how bad that was? Like what are you saying? You don't know what you're talking about. He doesn't scream chill.
This is like
screams like you're having a go at me.
The mental asylum dating app picture. Are you trying to look normal? You know, like, I'm going to try to look normal. I know I look kind of weird, but I'll try to look normal. And this is what comes out. But anyways,
But
all right, here we
dude,
go.
oh my god! But you are kind of right, because when he was single, when he was freshly single, when Panda Lee left him, his whole Instagram was full of pictures of him making weird faces and like dating app faces. What he thought were appealing DSP faces.
Do you know the best one of that was when he took a picture of himself at his computer and he's like, "This is what it looks like when I'm working." That was
hilarious. And everyone said, like, who's holding the camera? You know, who's holding the camera now? It was him holding it out. Yeah. Amazing. That was for Cat. That was for Cat would get excited. Okay, back to the eating. Let's go.
You would have thought it would have been pretty dry. It almost looks like the consistency of kind of like a Twinkie. But it is chocolate, so let's give it a shot.
What?
Why does he hold the wrapper when he bites?
Steve, the red dwarf thing that you put up on Twitter was perfect.
Yeah. Just move your head closer to the object, right?
Yeah. That's British style references, everybody.
It's weird.
Obligatory.
It tastes weird. Like, I was expecting it to taste like a chocolate Twinkie or like a chocolate cupcake from Hostess. No. It's got an odd flavor to it.
Just remember to
describe what the odd flavor
I
is.
prefer a chocolate weird to eat. Like that would... What was weirder, that or the corn?
Steve, I forgot to tell you, brother. I found this in the wild.
100% the corn.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch it.
Steve, I found in the wild. I took a picture of it. This is my own picture. I found a pre-dipped. This is pre-dipped. Got the chocolatey payday.
Send that to us. I've only got like the regular ones.
Yeah.
Weird. It doesn't taste like American chocolate at all.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a Turkish chocolate.
Doesn't. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Oh!
Nah.
Didn't he say he was going to like it because he's white and it's European or some shit like that?
Is it tasty?
From his
Not
culture.
really,
chocolate.
to be honest.
Uh-oh.
It's not that good at all. It is moist. I'll say that. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
number one thing it's
Hell
got
yeah.
going for it. It's moist.
Hell yeah.
That's very
important.
critical. It has to be moist.
It's the only thing in that house
It doesn't
that
taste
is.
like chocolate.
Oh.
It tastes a little sweet. It's got this other flavor to it. It doesn't even really like.
Here's
it doesn't really smell
alien
like
part.
chocolate.
This is the alien part.
So honestly, I'll be honest. Out of
Oh,
all
I thought
of
he
these,
goes another bite.
This
Okay.
I don't like. I don't like the
Oh
cake.
yeah, we don't finish it all.
I definitely don't like the pizza sticks. The hazelnut is salty. Why is hazelnut salty? I don't understand. The best thing was this, so I'm going to have another one of this. This was the best thing, the first thing.
Oh.
These little...
All right, we got the point. We got the point.
Oh, the wafer rolls. I love them.
Okay.
They're filled with chocolate.
They're fucking amazing. What do you mean by that? What are you doing?
Why is he biting it in fucking half? You're a grown man. Just eat the thing.
Just pound it. There we go. We got a 220 on our hands right here, though. Okay.
Expect him to smash it with a rock or some shit. He's a fucking cave.
Sort of make a good flint.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, anyways, this is your goal. You love this. Okay, so next thing we got to play before we get to the other stuff is Philip did respond directly now to Broside Phil's interview, okay? Directly. Big ups to DSP Gout for this. He did...
I don't follow the detractor stuff.
Okay. Yep. I remember this. I don't follow the detractor stuff.
The detractor
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. You know this is going to be a 5-minute clip when he says that.
He claimed he talked to the policewoman who supposedly I talked to, but I guess she's not a policewoman anymore. And then she says, "Oh, I remember the conversation." And Phil was
remember, I don't watch detractor stuff, but he's explaining exactly the entire video of what happened on Broside Phil's channel, but he doesn't watch it. Keep that in mind.
Weirdo. And I guess he said she came to my house and I had a bunch of cameras. No one ever came to my house. It was a phone conversation. I don't have any cameras at my house at all, and I never said that I did. I don't know where all that information is coming from.
Okay, well, I got a few things to play for you now. First of all, Broside Phil, in the police report, it says, after reviewing Phil's latest email, I drove to his residence in the gated community of Palm Court. So he definitely did drive there. That's confirmed from the policeman. So even though Phil didn't know about it, they did visit it. So that doesn't discredit anything that she said, by the way. But I want to play that real quick. He said he does not have cameras, right?
At my house at all, and I never said that I did. My house, it was, and I had a bunch of cameras. No one ever came to my house. It was a phone conversation. I don't have any cameras at my house at all.
Okay, well, let's see about that. Here we go.
Oh, you go.
We have security. We have security. We have a security system. There's cameras. Like, it's really stupid that anyone thought that anything was going to happen.
Now this is awkward, huh?
Thank God.
Okay,
we have security. We have a security system.
We have a security system.
There's cameras. Like,
there's cameras.
It's really stupid that anyone thought that anything was going to happen. Nothing.
Oh shoot. Well, this is awkward, huh? Okay, and next, one more reference to this.
If anyone broke into my house, I would chase them out of my house with a weapon, and then I would call the police.
Chase them.
Chase them with a weapon.
Running after anyone. What the fuck, man?
The axe
He went and
running
walked to the
around.
mailbox.
Okay, well, yeah.
This is also the same guy who said that if his house was on fire and he was sleeping, he would simply smell it and wake up and jump out the window.
Very key. Very key.
So yes, he pretty much plans like a combat sequence. If someone breaks in, that's like they have to get through me first.
So here there's a panic button.
Well, maybe. I do still think though. He only has cameras outside. I think DSP is paranoid enough to do it, and he's crazy enough to do it. He's living his life like it's a Jason Bourne action movie or something. Yep. He thinks everybody's after him. But I still wouldn't think he would put cameras inside.
No, he'd worry about being hacked.
Yeah.
Like someone might be able to find him and access him somehow. So no, but outside, so that he knows someone's coming.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No, he probably wouldn't inside.
I agree.
Too much of a security risk.
Inside is too much of a risk, but outside is definitely got to do it.
But it is also good content for WPIG 24/7.
Yes,
definitely. Tap in ALT. That would be a lot of market there.
I'll start hacking it. Hold on. But
In fact, I already have it all set up. We have a nice alarm system here where there's a panic button.
We have an alarm system set up here with a panic button. So, I mean, this is just all
he's
proof.
pressed it now.
Yeah. This is all proof he has this, by the way. He definitely has a security system. Yep.
Is that what Panda Lee meant by panic attack? She just smashed the button. Like the police
come
showed
on.
up?
Ooh, come on.
We have a nice alarm system here where there's a panic button. So first thing I would do if someone was breaking into my house is hit the panic button so the police would already be on the way. And then I would chase them out of my house with a weapon.
So assuming he's not lying here, which he could be because he's trying to sound like a tough guy with a lot of security, because he doesn't want the dirty trolls to do anything. So that means he has a security system, if you take him at his word there. Security system that would come with cameras. So the policeman's story is very, very, very telling, right? And truthful sounding to me. Go ahead, Mr. Ludacris.
The same guy that was like crying and pissing his pants, going, I'm an alcoholic, you guys, please don't hit me, is also this guy that's going, I'd hit the panic button, then I'd fucking have him. Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope they bring an ambulance with
them on
that
their
police car.
I tie the bandana around my head first, and then I grab my bow and me hatchet.
Use the phone as nunchucks.
All right, so here's the part where, again, we don't have cameras.
No one ever came to my house. It was a phone conversation.
Yep.
I don't have any cameras at my house at all, and I
That's
never
not
said
true.
that I did.
Yes, you did.
I don't know where all that information is coming from.
your
it's
own mouth.
complete false. Like, I don't have it. My neighbors actually have a Ring doorbell.
Okay.
And along our main road, because we live in a private community, the main road has a couple cameras off of the side of people's homes. And we do have a camera pointed at our mailbox because a few years ago, it was like 5 years ago, someone came in. We have a common mailbox where all of our mail is kept. It's all locked up. Someone came by and wrecked it. Like, they came by with like a hammer or an axe and they destroyed it and stole everyone's mail. I don't know to what end. It's not like there was like valuable items in there or anything, so I don't know what they were thinking, but they did. They stole all our shit. So after that, we installed a better lockbox that's like super high quality, and now we have a camera on that. So if someone does steal the mail, we can get it back. You know, we try to get them arrested and get our mail back. But outside of that...
This is the classic over-explaining thing where we're just talking as much as
we
can.
got lost in the mailbox. I don't even. You guys forgot about the cameras now, really.
I don't have any cameras on my house. Like personal cameras on my home. I don't have any. So I don't know where.
I don't have any personal cameras on my home. All right. They're not personal because the security company has them, right? I mean, I would guess.
They're business related.
Yeah.
That came from. Because yesterday PPP asked me about it on Smart Guys.
Have you noticed we've stopped calling him Triple P?
Yeah, now we're back to PPP. Yeah. We killed that, didn't we? We killed
Friendship
it.
ended.
We killed the Triple P thing, sadly.
And I was like, what? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. I never said I had cameras. I don't have any cameras on my house.
I've already played you the part where he said he did have cameras.
Like I said, I think a couple people do have the Ring doorbells around here.
Again,
and
this is so classic interrogation shit. Where it's like, as you can see, he starts over-explaining. He's again going through the thing he already said, you know. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't have any. I mean, the mailbox, like I said earlier. But I mean, I could go again. I mean, I don't see what else you're talking about.
He could so easily segue into anything else if he was interesting or had any sort of entertainment value, but he just doesn't. He has nothing else to go off of. So this is what we do today.
To have that very general one along. I think there's 2 homes. There's a camera pointed at the main road coming in. And there's the one on the mailbox, I think. But that's all I know about.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they get their crazy stories and information from at all. It's just bizarre, the shit they make up.
The police?
So
this is. I want to play again the bizarre shit we make
have security.
up. Sorry.
We have a security system. There's cameras.
Okay, that's the bizarre shit we make up. Next up,
it's
I think
false. Like whoever he had who's impersonating this officer who I talked to is a liar. It's not really the officer because they were never here. No one ever came out here for the police report. And
no one ever came out here for the police report.
Yep. I hate this. I hate this because he's addressing something that, to his own words, he claims he hasn't even seen. So he's just addressing hearsay and calling people liars based on hearsay from someone in chat.
And let's just think about what has to be true for Philip to be correct here. That Broside decided to hire an actor that is a very good actor, by the way, and he knew exactly who he was talking about. You know, and added information themselves, right? I mean, I guess if Broside Phil was some kind of director and wrote the script, all right, but pretty crazy, right? To know all this shit about it, and then all of a sudden,
they also lied on all of the police paperwork during the reports and that. That's strange how they would do that.
Just for the laugh of it.
Independently check with a FOIA like Broside Phil did. You know,
it's all very well and good, isn't it? When it's like you're trying to discredit Broside Phil, but on the other hand, you've got Phil Bernal, who isn't exactly Mr. Honest.
Yeah,
like himself. So yeah,
but it's like the side scrollers thing again, where they're like, so you want us to believe that the bank leaks show that there's a detractor out there who goes to the same shops as you around the same day and spends roughly the same amount at the same time and knows all these things about you, other than you're lying, you know? And he's like, "Yep, that's my defense." Yeah.
I liked it when he was like, "If I was you, I'd believe it too."
Yeah, I think I'm a douchebag too, honestly.
Oh my god, it all gets so much better in retrospect. That interview is so fun to go back to because that whole time he admitted he was lying, and he even talked to the guy that he lied to, and he told him, "Well, I fucking lied, but I said something."
Dr. Tractor has made a good point. So she never said they had contacted a person. So yeah, Phil didn't know that she went out there. I want to make that clear. Yeah, Phil for sure did not know. Yeah,
they would have done.
But what my point is that the officer's not lying either because that's on the police report that said I went out to the house. I didn't tell him, but I checked it out. You know, that's what policemen do. They check it out. They don't have to tell you.
I didn't go knock on the door and talk to him, but I rolled by him. Yeah, looks a bit.
This is like I'm trying to add more credibility to Leanne here. That's what my only point is. Like, you know, that's on the police report, and Leanne said it too. You know, public police report. But anyways, here we go.
There's no cameras that they're talking about. They made it up.
Okay.
So it's just complete nonsense. Just like everything that these idiots say, it's all fucking nonsense. They make it up. But people are so dumb they believe it.
Again, never watched the video though.
Fun game though. Fun gameplay.
Oh shit.
This is awesome.
I'll never get used to the The camera being right in front of him.
Yeah.
This is the worst angle ever, especially with his resting face, because it's like a resting droopy face that is just melting. And you can see how he's bored.
Yes.
So if you're like a boring streamer, you don't want to emphasize that, how boring you are and how lame it is to hang out with you.
Yeah,
that is one thing I have to admit is I always thought that if he put his camera like everybody else, it would look better, and I was actually way wrong. He looks so much worse from this angle. I would have rather have had the side shot.
Isn't this the same top where his moves were showing the other week when everyone was... Why didn't he throw it out? He made a big thing about it, going, oh, I hang on to clothes for way too long. Everyone makes fun of him, and he's wearing it like 5 minutes later. Throw it the fuck out.
And he does check in on it every once in a while, looks down, does the pull down. Very cool. But Philip, now, if you're a real Phil fan, which I know, it's very few of them out there, but you're fucked if you don't donate, because then he gets angry and just sits there with a pissed face look on his face. But you're also angry if you hit the goal early, because he then just sits there with a rested bitchy face like, what am I doing this for anymore? I already hit the goal. I don't need to be here. You know what I mean? There's no time in which Philip is having fun on gameplay anymore, because it's either didn't hit the goal yet or I already hit it and therefore I'm bored, right?
Well, that's why the true value of his content is detracting, and it always will be.
Yep.
If I had cameras anyway, we're well within our rights to have cameras, but he made up some weird story that the cop said that I'm paranoid, so I have 1 million cameras around the house, and they labeled me a nut job. Like,
that's an interesting number.
That's true. They did label him a nut job, yes.
Never came to my house.
Yes, they did.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Again, it's completely fabricated nonsense. There would be records of this stuff. Like, this never happened.
This is from the record.
Yes.
Which he would know if he watched the video, obviously.
It definitely happened.
And also, we have to also mention, he acknowledged this is the correct case file. So this could not have been manufactured and fake. It physically not, because
that was the best. One of the best parts of that thing was when he said, like, the case number is blah 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 blah, and Philip's like, yep, that's it.
And I have to say, huge shout out to Broside Phil. I thought he did well in the first place, but now with this whole Officer Whitney story, it made it so much more rewatchable. And my least favorite part turned into one of my favorite parts because of how much more context and how much more fun it is now.
Yep.
Congratulations on being in the top 10 BDSP moments for the year. Because he's going to be in there now.
Oh yeah, that's
definitely.
already one.
That's the one I'm going to add to the timeline for sure. Is this whole thing? Yeah. Go ahead, Ludacris.
Well, I was going to say it's completely unrelated now, but I was just going to say I'm hoping. Actually, it might go into the top 10 DSP moments of this year.
Yeah.
When the Infinite Wealth, Like a Dragon pirate game comes out, I really hope we get another "It's like me for real" moment with the pirates. Like, I really somehow.
Okay, almost done this one. Then we'll get to the other thing.
Anyway,
we're having
just
fun
more
here.
nonsense that I pay no attention to at all.
Clearly,
but they make up the most lavish, crazy stories with zero justification for it. The thing is, I don't follow them. Like, I don't pay attention to the detractors, so I don't even know what they're saying. So then they say shit like that, and they're like, "Oh, you see, well, must be true." Phil didn't respond. Phil doesn't listen to your nonsense at all. I only knew about it because PPP brought it up yesterday, and I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Do you know what's amazing with this, right? When you think about like the growth of his channel and stuff, imagine if you were just, I don't know what game this is, but say you were like wanting to check out the latest release, and you clicked on and there's some fat wanker going, "Yeah, I don't really address that. Triple P said it yesterday. I don't know what they're talking about. What?" You're going to be like, "I can't stand this wanker. Is anyone else streaming it?" Like,
well, you'd have to be a descriptive word. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah.
Since he mentioned PPP, we should start calling him PPP, see if he swaps. But the way that PPP brought up that number 2, Phil, on Smart Guys was maybe you'd lost weight.
Oh God, yes,
phenomenal.
Yes. Wait, did we play that on the show yet? The Panda Lee thing? That was last time, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. Was last time we played.
Okay. I just want to make sure we played that one. The last time I ate out was that the last time you ate out Panda when they were talking about Panda Express? That was brutal. That was like the most direct, brutal one yet. Went right over Philip's head, of course, but that was like, oh man, did not expect to hear that. I ate out Panda. But anyways, big ups to Warren, who says DSP is no longer pertinent. Big ups to Warren for the pertinent. That is correct.
Yeah.
Speedy said.
By the way,
go ahead.
Based on what you guys said, Ludacris specifically, his content is so fucking weird to strangers. That's why his wrestling show would never even have a chance to get popular or even gain any popularity, because it just there's so many references to dark side fucking Phil lore that it's just impossible for your average wrestling enjoyer.
I said I think they should change the name to Lard Guys. Because it's nothing to do with fucking wrestling at all. It's just two fat wankers just chatting a load of bollocks.
And remember, this is supposed to be after Grill Phil, so there shouldn't have been any Grill Phil last episode, by the way. But of course, Triple P knows if you want to make it entertaining for most of the people, we got to get it in there, which is why it's was back there like it was always scheduled to be. But Philip was coping, saying like, oh, yeah, we talked about it. We decided, yeah, we don't need that Grill Phil stuff anymore. And then Triple P just does it anyway. You know?
It's not Grill Phil anymore, is it? It's not Grill Phil. We've renamed it now, so it's something different.
That's
just like when I renamed the pre-stream to the pre-stream podcast, so you should all shut up whining about how long it was taking me to start the gameplay.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. Renamed it. Don't count.
The fucking best. Yeah, we talked about it, and he just thinks we don't need it anymore. And they do it anyway. Who cares? Just say whatever the fuck you want.
Didn't Triple P say when he had that little meltdown about it, he goes, oh, was that? He's like, that was important for Phil to say.
Yeah. Correct. On Twitter, Triple P responded to somebody, said, yeah, that it was important for Phil to change the name. Like, come on, man. How old are you, man? Come on. A name. If you change the name, it'll be fine. Okay, cool. All right, Speedy in the house says he acts like Mel Gibson when with those voicemails came out with the whole "Why are you obsessing with me? Not being punished for being a scumbag." Yeah, so like with the Mel Gibson voicemails. Anyone heard those? You should just fucking smile and blow me. Those. Mel Gibson did. His response was basically, "Why are you guys obsessing with me? Why are you guys obsessing over this? It was a while ago." But, that doesn't mean it didn't happen, Sir Gibson. You know what I mean? But, anyways, the same defense there for sure. Commence the Jiggling in the house says, I don't ask anyone to donate beyond their means.
Such a good name, sorry.
Okay. Commence the Jiggling. Says, I don't ask anyone to donate beyond their means, except for the times he's told people who tip $1 they got to step it up. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, that was last week, many times. If you want to see me hit the goals, guys, $1 is not enough. But, big ups. Commence the Jiggling. Lyrical Thesis says, what do they call a quarter pounder in France? Oh, I know this one. Royale with cheese. Come on. Luriava says, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Why do they call it that?
Leonardo DiCaprio is OIC. It all makes sense now. Oh, yeah, remember? Leonardo DiCaprio drew
Inception,
DSP. Oh, my God. Remember? That lady said she drew DSP? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Warren says, move on from begging. Well, we'll move on from begging. I'll pick up some Warren. We don't have anything else. Jay says, cat being hangry would be an emergency with that jaw. All right, Jay Wusso. Okay.
Sorry, to the people in the chat saying the metric system, can I just say, you're a smart motherfucker. That's right. The metric system.
Okay. And two more here. Lyrical Thesis says, with that logic, is Hitler good now? Well, it was a long time ago, the bad stuff he did, right? He's changed. Well, he's dead, but he did change, I guess.
The people he did bad stuff to aren't even alive to complain about it anymore. Get over it.
Please.
I'm pretty sure so, Ma.
No.
Shut up.
They're running out by the day, Steve. The time is coming.
Yeah. Just listen to watch our content, Steve. Stop listening to other people. God damn it. Lyrical Thesis says it's easy to silence Panda. Oh, come on, Lyrical Thesis. And Meth Bear says Fat Cat's draining all his resources until she has a chance to monkey branch to another guy. Women, am I right? That's from Meth Bear. I don't agree with that, but Meth Bear always has his fanfics. And BB11 says, how long until DSP adopts Derek as his new son? That'll never happen. Come on, we got to keep him out. All right, so
he brought that up the other day too, didn't he, Derek? When he was talking about Kurt in the chat. Oh, they're moving the goalposts, and he recounted the whole thing. Man, what a cool guy!
Again, defending Derek, right? Because now he's kind of like, all right, I don't have to be that cool with Triple P anymore. Yeah, that Derek shit. I'm still kind of pissed about it. I'm still sad for two reasons on that one. That was very weird. Very weird.
Do you think when it's all official and they come out and they've snaked him or whatever that he'll welcome back Derek?
Oh yeah.
You think?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to see that.
Ooh,
I would
that's
love to see
an
the
interesting
arc.
one.
No,
That's
I'm done with them. I'm
interesting.
done with anything that I've done with them, so I can get rid of it all. I don't need to do smart guys
And
anymore.
that's
I don't
totally
need
in
to
his
do
wheelhouse, but it would
DSP
be
politics or streaming
absurd.
cake. Yeah.
That is
I
wild.
reckon
Okay,
he
let's
would.
get an official prediction so we can go back on this. Okay. Derek prediction segment. I'm going to search for that later. Meerkat, if after the
Wave my
official
hands so you know.
after the Yes. After the official snake eating happens, okay? So official, let's say, like they're Triple P and are not cool with DSP anymore. DSP is not cool with them anymore. Will he bring back Derek? Yes or no is the question.
No. Derek is finished.
That's what I think as well. I'm putting mine down officially no as well. Steve of the Dead.
I'm saying yeah. I reckon he will.
Mr. Ludacris.
No, I don't think he will, because the only defense he had before was, he does the pedophiling in his spare time, you guys. And I don't think he'll go back to that. It's a hobby defense.
He was fine in chat. It was an unjust punishment. I had to be forced into it. It was their idea, and I don't agree with it, so fuck it. He can come back in. He obeyed the rules.
A lot of people are saying like he's probably back with socks already. Yeah, but I'm saying officially Derek is in chat. Yeah. Atlas, last guess. Yes or no?
I think Steve stands alone on this one. I'm going to say
Okay,
no.
I'm
I
saying
think there's
no,
no
too.
way we can backpedal on Derek realistically. If you're a sane human being, which he's not, maybe I could be wrong, but I'm going to have hope that we're going to be better tomorrow.
Okay, I'm saying no as well. It's 4 no's. Steve stands alone. We'll see if Steve is right on this one. Okay, Meerkat, could you send me a link to that the video you want to react to about Meerkat's gone?
Cat died.
Yeah, he disappeared.
God damn it, Meerkat. I need you to give me the link to the
Needed it
video.
most. He was gone.
Eastern European style internet, yeah.
We'll get him back. Big ups to the one and the only. Well, let's do a message then. Why not? Hey, why not? We got him, right? Here. We got a message. Let's play.
The Asker didn't want to hear from Meerkat anyway.
Yeah, fuck him. When he gets
Thanks
back,
to the people in chat. We'll stand together on this hill.
Okay, we have one and the only, the Papa Polecat in the house with a message for us here. Papa Polecat, go.
Big ups, that being said, and everyone else. Real quick one for you. If Philip was doing a yard sale and he had to sell everything in his house, what one thing would you buy? Big ups.
Ooh. Well, first of all, I would buy nothing. But if let's say I'm forced to buy something or I die, I would buy... Ooh, that's a good question. Let's think about it. Let's go to the guess. Atlas, you have an answer for that?
Fuck. I'd probably spend $5 for his Tekken trophy from the mall. Just so I can take it away from him.
That's pretty substantial. I don't want anything, literally, but if I had to get something, I would get... What'd be the funniest thing, right? Like the $300 trash can. That's kind of funny.
I know what I'd get.
Go ahead.
His reusable bags.
Reusable
He's obviously
bags.
replaced them. I'd take them again.
Another option would be something like the calendar board. That'd be kind of funny. The calendar board, the
schedule.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. What's your answer, though, Steve? Official answer.
The boob painting, because
yes.
you can at least like hang that in your own home and be like, oh yeah, it was just an artist who did a thing, with the tits. Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to go into it, but you know where it is and why it's there. And that quilt as well. That what was it? $1,000 blanket.
Yes.
Yes. Probably nice.
Lyrical Thesis says the A certificate. That would be funny too, right?
Ooh,
that
that's
would be
a good
funny.
one. Yeah.
One of the vests would be funny, but good question. Good question, Papa Polecat. That's a good question. If it was earlier in the show, I'd add it for a question, but it's too late.
King of Hate clock.
Next up is the one, the only, the ultimate Theo theory. The ultimate Theo theory. All right, here we go.
What's going on, guys? Samurai is here, and I think I've done it. I think I've created the ultimate Theo theory.
Here we go.
Now, people have been wondering why Phil didn't just leave the True Seekers podcast early, whether it be he had the grit to tough out through the humiliation, he didn't know how to exit the Discord call, but I think the real reason he stuck it out with the podcast is because he has a humiliation fetish. Whenever Steve was throwing evidence at him, all he could do is sit there and smile and giggle because he was getting off to that. Whenever he would ask Steve if he was done with the evidence, he wasn't just asking if he was done with it, he was hoping that he wasn't done with it. Whenever he asked Steve if he was finished, it's because he hadn't yet finished. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, what about the Twitter posts and then the sad and angry podcast the next day? That right there, was post-nut clarity. After he got off the podcast, he decided he wanted to go ahead and whack one out real quick. Afterwards, he got hit with post-nut clarity and made those Twitter posts and decided to get on his podcast the next day and talk about how terrible of a situation it was. But in all seriousness, I think the real reason that he stuck it out was just because he didn't want trolls to make fun of him for leaving the podcast early.
That's
I think
most
that's what
important.
happens anytime he stays on those
He
podcasts
said so
for extra long amount of
himself.
time.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want trolls to make fun of him for leaving early. But if you guys have a different reason to why he decided to stick it out, let me know. You guys have a good podcast.
Big ups to Samarias, who had a great, very funny entry yesterday in the X Factor, which the link is. I added the links to all the video style ones yet. I still need to make some videos for the audio only ones, but I will do that, I promise. But yes, so does he have a humiliation fetish? I'll go to you first, Steve, on this one.
I don't.
I
honestly
think
don't
so.
know. I mean,
yeah.
Like, I don't think personally. I don't think so. But I can't rule that out. I can't rule out the possibility that he does. So I think if he did, he'd probably be a bit more willing to engage in social interactions to try and get it in the first place. But,
Yeah, right.
You know.
He makes sure he can have the last word, the upper hand on everything. I don't know. I don't think it makes sense to me. Meerkat, could you send me the link to that video that you made a video about so I can play that first to finish out?
Sure, yes.
Okay, I'll give you a sec. I'll read a few shout outs and we'll get to it.
Yeah. What would you get if Phil was having a yard sale and he had to buy something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You have to buy something or you die. What would you buy from the house? You have to buy something or you die. The money goes to a charity for,
autism awareness.
Yeah. It's a charity thing.
I want to buy the little ghost LED light.
Okay, that's fair.
Take his Pac-Man light away. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Blame it on the lag.
And also, I want to say about the fetish thing. I have something to add. My opinion is, I don't personally care, so I'm willing to go and believe the thing that is the most entertaining and funny to me, which is yes. So yes, I think yes, some kind of a humiliation thing, or at least maybe he gets off or gets some sort of like a power trip when he begs for money and people give it to him as if they're like subservient to him and they're submissive to him. It's kind of a weird fucking thing, but maybe I'm just reading in too much into it and he's just a filthy beggar and it just is simpler than that.
Big ups to Lyrical Thesis, who says this. We're talking about this look. A few people have some comments on this drip. Okay,
he looks like a prisoner.
So here, there's 4 people that have comments on this. Big ups to them. Lyrical Thesis says it is Grandpa Joe waiting for the golden ticket. Next up, we have Review Tech Mongolia, who says 220 singles in your area. Sign up today. Speedy, it doesn't stop, by the way. Speedy says that's the face of someone who is expecting to meet a 14-year-old boy home alone, but is greeted by Chris Hansen and asked to take a seat over there. God. Please. We are not done yet. This is very interesting, okay? So I'm going to read 2 back to back because it's just odd how the universe works. So this is Wandering Monk, who says he looks like the Al Bundy of streaming, right? He looks like the Al Bundy of streaming. And then John Bono right after that says he looks like the Ted Bundy of streaming. That is 2 different people. 2 different people teaming up to make the magic. Big ups, everybody. Lyrical Thesis says about this eating video that it was a twink eating a Twinkie. Okay,
no, he's not a twink. He's not a twink.
No,
he's more of a bear.
Bear,
he's hairy as fucking gross.
Is this your expertise?
It's just a factual observation.
Okay. Would you say? Okay, well, stop. Dissension says Cat's Dry Taco Reel. Okay, Cat's Dry Taco Reel. Thank you. Her name is Whitney, but Phil has the mill tank. Pokemon humor for you there, everybody. Whitney has a mill tank. NWO News is adding on to the slander that Atlas started. Says Meerkat knows his twinks. Is that factual? Or?
Look, I do my research. I study my subject matter.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, here we go. So we got to watch this. We got to watch this video here. Okay, here's the video all about. We're not going to watch all of this because we got 8 minutes left. So let's just get the start of this, and we'll get our thoughts, and we'll get out of here.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan.
Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip going.
I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room. Insane.
This is not a pregnancy announcement.
Confusion about the schedule for this week, about drama, and about all this stuff going on. I feel like part of it has nothing to do with me, and part of it has to do with me making a silly, honest mistake. And I guess people have created drama.
He spends like 10 minutes talking about the fucking schedule, doesn't he?
I couldn't believe it. Like I came to my stream
because
people were like,
he's
"Oh my
focusing.
God."
He's focusing on the weakest part of the argument, which is that people thought that Smart Guys was canceled because he didn't put it in the schedule.
Yeah, so let's get past that.
Hyper focusing on it.
Yeah,
you might even say.
Yeah. Would you call it hyper focusing? Yeah.
I'm trying to get past that. So here we go.
Here, all right. I spoke with PPP about all of this behind the scenes and everything. And,
PPP.
you know, everything is moving
PPP.
forward as planned. Like, we're still doing Smart Guys this Tuesday. You know, everything is fine. Okay? So, all that's happening. And then I guess what happened was, when I was doing my schedule on Friday night.
Okay, going for it again.
Smart.
So this was just for more context. Philip forgot to put that on the schedule, like you said. And remember when the snaking Triple P and Andy on their stream were saying like, "Oh, he went into business with himself. Steve's an asshole." And then at the end, the very end of it, he said, "We'll see you on Tuesday." Right? Like we'll see you again. So this is what caused Philip to have to respond to that in his mind, I guess.
Smart Guys wasn't on the schedule. That Smart Guys has been canceled. That Steve is going to be on Kino Casino on a special Tuesday appearance, despite the fact that Kino Casino don't broadcast on Tuesdays. And all these like assumptions were made based on me screwing up the schedule.
Yeah.
But he said himself, though, that he checked with PPP and talked to him behind the scenes that everything is still set to go. Why would you have to do that if it was clearly a mistake on your end and that was the end of it, right?
Exactly.
That seems weird to me.
Exactly. If this was just a scheduling issue, we don't talk for 10 more minutes about this, how it's not a big deal. You know what I mean?
There's a W pose.
Ooh, W.
All right. Allow me to tell you guys from my perspective
1.5.
what's going down this week. All right.
Please.
Number one.
Yes.
I'm under no impression whatsoever that the guys from Kino Casino are my best friends. All right.
Remember, this is a scheduling error. There's nothing else to this. Do not look over here. Do not watch. Okay, but we're gonna keep talking, I guess.
Like I said,
Talk about gaming soulmate as well. Remember that?
We've made content together and it's worked. Okay, so there you have it. And we're gonna continue to do that as long as it still works. And if at any point either side says, "this ain't working, the content isn't good, it's not benefiting us," then we will stop. Right? Like I'll be honest. For example, the last couple of times that I appeared on Kino Casino, all right, months and months ago, I don't think they benefited either side. I don't think they got a boost or any interest out of it, and I don't think I got a boost or any interest out of it. Certainly, I wasn't making any money or anything from it. So, if you haven't noticed, I wasn't on the casino for the longest time, and that's intentional. You know, if there was a reason for me to go back, if something was going on, and if there was actually like a topic, then we'd be more interested in doing it. But if people ask me for the long time, would you be on casino again? And I'm like, I mean, I would, but what's the point? Like, we tried it, it wasn't working, it was getting boring.
So this means that they're not really answering his messages about getting back on the show. That's what I think. But,
was it not?
Well, what does that say about his entertainment value when it comes to being on somebody else's show? Like, I don't know. That should be a red flag to him that there was no entertainment value to be had with him showing up, you know?
Yeah. And it's even worse because, like, Steve was on their show multiple times. They brought him back. There's no reason. Hey, Steve, you want to be on the show? Like we do with Atlas, like we do with Mr. Ludacris. Like, there's no reason for them to be here, but they just add something so we have them back. You know, like a normal guest on entertainment shows. But Philip doesn't quite get that. There's nothing, I don't get anything out of it. They don't get anything out of it. Like,
he's not getting paid, obviously, so...
They're as laughing at it as we are.
Yeah, maybe. Look at this face. You open up a Mr. Ludacris video about your eating noodles.
That's why we cooled it down, which is what you do, right? So, yeah, like in my opinion, moving forward, there's a working relationship. Sometimes when we make content together, it works and it's interesting. Right? I mean, I think Smart Guys is working. I think it's a show that, even though it doesn't have a giant audience, it has an audience that's building, that enjoy wrestling commentary. I'm enjoying getting back into wrestling again. The show is finding a little bit of traction. It might get more traction if we stick with it. And if we find what it needs to be, because we've tried a couple different formulas, right? We tried it, just being wrestling. We tried it being drama. We tried a combination of the two. I think we're going to eventually reach that perfect.
Remember, the drama is just asking questions about Philip's behavior, by the way. That's the drama we're speaking of here, okay?
Mix.
Oh, Tacozilla says DSP was in Kino's chat last night. Oh, now that is a change. I can see what he wrote. Hold on, give me a minute as I play it here.
Like 3 a.m.
Oh, really? People are saying their kick is not working. Guys, their kick is not working. It's working for me. Like, I can see your messages.
Till 7.
I can see Chimchar. I can see Giovanna. Super Bonchan says, I should do another casino appearance where they introduce me to more lolcows. I mean, I guess they could, but is that entertaining? Like I said, I think the first couple appearances that I had on the show worked really well because it was me being exposed to a new audience, that audience being exposed to me for the first time. But
the name called in the kitchen.
When I appeared in October, and the whole idea was that we were all going to dress up like Ghostbusters and we were going to do this show kind of felting Ralph, Ethan Ralph, and all of that.
Yeah.
It just kind of fell apart at the same time the Review Tech drama was happening with him breaking down and deleting his channel and all that shit. So because everything happened at once, it kind of lost momentum of the idea that we had. And when I appeared on the show, it was very disjointed. Like, we didn't really know where to go with it. And on top of that, I mean, I'm not even going to lie to you. Earlier that day, do you remember I had done DSP Tries at Taco Bell? And it was killing my guts. So I was sitting there on the show, bloated as hell, trying to entertain it, and it did not work. Seriously, I know it didn't work. Like that.
the other name there is like Boomer in-game scare me real.
And then after that, they wanted me to be on for the politics show. And I was like, are you sure? Because I really don't think like that last appearance worked, you know, but they really, really wanted me to be on the politics show. So I went on there, and I think that went all right. But the problem was I wasn't going to clear my whole schedule to be there all night for the politics show. So I showed up for 45 minutes when Trump was in the process of being elected. And I think that worked for the short blip that it was. I think it did actually work. It was entertaining. But after that, we just didn't really
Could you imagine if he was on for the whole fucking stream? What an L that would have been for the casino.
The reason he left is because he had nothing to add and everyone knew it. And that's why he bitched out. Right? I mean,
turned up thinking it was going to be a politics show where they had to go at the needy and stuff like that, and then he was like, "Election, this isn't politics."
Well, we're going to own the woke libs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he carried on? I mean, it's not like politics is quiet right now, is it? It's not like there's now going on. Can you imagine if he carried on DSP politics through this bit? Now, guys, what you need to understand is I've worked at the helicopter company, so I know all about the FAA. It's fine that they fired all these people. Nothing's going to happen. Planes aren't going to fall out of the sky. You all need to calm down.
Look, planes landing upside down is normal, guys. You need to understand this. It just sometimes happens.
They're designed like that now. You would know you didn't work in the aviation industry, but
no one died.
On that one.
I'm still trying to find the DSP Gaming inside that chat. I'm not seeing it so far. The last time that Kino Casino has been in Phil's chat was on more than 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to find the last time he was in there.
It's going to be in a segment where they're talking about him, innit? Because that's the only time he turns up. Because he'll be like, "Oh, if you're not talking about me anymore, guys, I might go. Unless you want to watch me eat corn or some shit."
If anyone has it,
which is so weird that he does that.
Oh, yeah. Kevin showed it.
He shows
already?
up for his own segments.
Kevin showed it, but I can't find it. But anyways, more important. Let's finish this real quick.
To do on either end, if I had come up with a good idea, I would have presented it to them too. But so it is what it is, right? And then when Smart Guys presented itself as an idea and we started working on it, I was, oh, this was working, so let's roll with this, right? So that's how it works. I hope this makes sense to everyone. Okay, it's logic, right? When you talk about it this way, it makes sense. You realize there's not secret dealings and plannings and snakings and all kinds of crap behind the deal. The scenes never happen. It's just do some work together from time to time and it works out or it doesn't, right?
I got it.
There were stretches of time I didn't talk to them for a while, and there was sometimes when we talk a lot because we're involved in stuff. You know what I mean?
So this is just, anyways, we get the point. This is pre-COVID, but yeah, go ahead, Mr. Lucas, please.
I was going to say, the bit where he said, if I had an idea, I would have said it to them, and he's never had a fucking idea in years. When the time he's worked with Triple P, the ideas have been, let's do a show I did with John Rambo many years ago, you guys. And then the other suggestion was, let's do a goal I used to do years ago, you guys, where I watch a bunch of NPC wrestlers fight each other. What ideas are you bringing to the table?
Well, we could do it on Discord. That's an idea.
Yeah, Meerkat made a video on this very moment. This is how you know things are getting closer to the end of this. I mean, maybe it never will end because DSP doesn't care what Triple P says. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, and DSP will take it. Like a bitch boy. Someone said 8 out panda to his face and didn't care. Even if you didn't get it at that point, he said it afterwards because he learned it. There's so many fucking names about Panda now on kick bands that he's banned about that moment alone, and you're just going to go through with it. I mean, this is just, how low can we go? And I still want to give her a pill, and I still want Kool-Aid girl references. Triple P, we got to get there because this is where else can we go, right? I mean,
can
what
we
else
put in requests because I want to know how much he weighs. If you can get him to show us his fridge, you can get him to stand on some weighing scales and take a picture of the number.
Yeah.
You've got that
There you
power,
go.
Triple P.
You
Sorry,
could-
PPP.
Oh, yeah,
I call him PPP.
I never got to talk about the showing his fridge thing.
Yes,
Why
you weren't here,
did
yeah.
that happen? What's with all of that? What the fuck?
That was just a goal that they kind of sillily made up, and that DSP bought
Isn't it? Wasn't it
It's
because
so
he
stupid,
said,
man.
like, I've done this trip to Costco and me freezers are full now and I've got no room for cake?
Because he couldn't save the cake. Yeah.
He couldn't get the cake. Yep. And the thing that was Triple P said, like, I think why Philip jumped on this idea because it would make Grill feel like kind of a light, let's say, topic. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But
You can talk about the goal still.
Yeah, he showed a lot of funny shit there and there. The snack pizzas and stuff, and the late. You heard about that, right, Meerkat? The late night snack pizzas. Yeah. Okay, making sure.
He sucks all the fun out of it, like he does though with his stupid. Yeah, but I'm the king, you see, and the king has to have these royal pizzas. It's like fuck off, man.
Oh yeah, this
It's
is
never
every time he's being cucked out by Triple P. This is his way of like having self-deprecating humor, is being overly sarcastic about it.
Yep.
And it's always not funny.
Yes.
It's like you did the impression of it before. Like, for the, it's the guy, I'm watching his street. Yeah, you're right. I'm totally a pervert. You know, I totally do this. It's that.
Yeah.
That's the comeback you got. Yeah, I am a pervert.
Yeah.
I saw my whole cock and balls. Okay. What did he say that? I got completely exposed. Like, yeah, okay. Cool, man. Okay, here's the messages from Big Ups. I did find it. Oh, big ups to myself because I found it myself, I guess. Big ups to me. I found it. I'm so used to giving credit. Look how magnanimous I am. Okay, so this is last night. The last time Philip was in Kino's chat was over 2 weeks ago again. Not over 2 weeks. 10 days ago. He was on the last time he was there. So this is from last night. It's not that they can't code arrows, that they can't be bothered to do it. The actual care into modern game development is being lost at a massive rate. Okay. We also say nothing. Oh, the slide whistle is back. Nice. Cool. I like that.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so Kat had a critical choice today. She made it, but the guy she spared kept attacking her anyway. And so the only way she could make progress was to choose the choice she didn't want. So the game is just broken. My wife quit avowed yet today. LOL. She was 10 hours in and couldn't take it anymore. And that's it. That's all the messages you're looking at. So nothing much there, actually.
So how does this change DSP's opinion on Avowed coming up on the next streams, guys? I think that's the real talking point here.
It sounds like, was this like a later in the night Andy gameplay part of the Kino show? Because that's...
Yeah, what time was that from and to? How long was he there for?
So he was there for a total of, 15 minutes, and it was 3:28 a.m. my time, so that means midnight, midnight his time, right? So... Anyways, there we go. Big ups to the one, the only Lyrical Thesis again, who says, bummer, no cat sex tape leaks then if there's no internal cameras. That's true, Lyrical Thesis. You'll have to pine away for those. Copeside
How
Phil
is that
says,
a bummer? We are blessed.
Wouldn't describe it like that.
Copeside Phil says, he loves saying he lives in a private community so much. He definitely gets off on telling people he lives in a private community. And I still hold on to the thought that that's the only reason he moved to Washington over the other choices, because it was a private community and he wants to be in a gated community and feel cool, I think. But, I'm a big
he's
deal.
scared of, detractors like sending shit to him and all that. But it's like, could you not have found one closer to Connecticut? Did you have to go to like the other side of the country?
Yep.
And he had to avoid taxes. That was the other.
Yeah.
Well, we just don't. If anyone can avoid taxes the way DSP avoided taxes, just don't stop paying. It's really cool.
But wouldn't it be legitimately more financially savvy of him to just straight up immigrate somewhere, just go to like Bolivia or something, or like Brazil, and just pay $12 a month for rent and buy some shitty internet and just make a shit ton of money and live like a king?
Dude, that's a YouTube bug that allows people using a VPN to buy memberships for cheap through Argentina. That's, they need to sort that out.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as international exchange rates. It's a YouTube bug, yeah.
Ben had access or move near Wings. That's what I did. I only live 30 minutes from Wings, right where I sit right here. Go ahead, Mr. Ludacris.
I was going to say, where else are you going to get Seattle air other than Seattle? It had to be.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Good point. Good fucking point. Big ups to Warren, who says, DSP is stealing the behavior social security checks. the behavior of Social Security checks. Big ups. Lyrical Thesis again says, imagine Phil trying to puff out his bird chest on you. Self-defense officer Whitney. Yeah. Can you imagine him trying to be tough? That would be very funny. But he has nothing else to be tough with, so that's why he probably talked about the money he makes, right? Like, I am I'm definitely a crowd-funded individual on YouTube, by the way. Just want to let you know that. I make a lot of money, by the way, just so you know. That's how he flexes.
I'm a pretty big deal, babe.
Lyrical Thesis says, Broside definitely hired a Fiverr actress to make the call. It was that important to him. Lyrical Thesis again says, sorry, Phil, I'm busy washing my hairstyle. That's why she's not doing the kicking. Yeah, definitely. Beetlejuice says, DSP looks like a deep-sea creature that surfaced too quickly and is being affected by atmospheric pressure.
Oh, no, that's mean on the blobfish. Come on.
Oh, come on. Wesley H says, how would Phil know or not know if a cop drove by his house unless he has cameras outside his home? Oh, interesting. Now, but in his mind, that person didn't do it, but that is an interesting thought because he would know.
The camera was
actually
off the whole time.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what would be funny? If he slipped up and he went, I can prove the cop wasn't here. I have CCTV footage outside my house. She was not here.
Look, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and camera 4. As you can see, guys, no cop car. Tired of it. Dissension says, notice he paused and said justification instead of proof. He knows the subject is proven via the police report. He's making the next out. Interesting. So he said justification, not proof, because there is proof, but it's not justified to look at that stuff, I guess, is what we're coping with. Good point. BB11 says, if DSP was a pro wrestler, what would his name be? I'll throw it to Atlas first. Pro wrestler, what would his name be?
Don't ask Atlas first. Ask somebody else first. I wasn't listening. I got to think about it.
Meerkat first.
I got one.
Oh. Go, Atlas Ludacris coming in hot. Go ahead.
Pass it.
Oh, I was going to say Goutberg.
Goutberg.
Very good.
Yeah.
Triple.
I would just say,
yeah.
I think Dark Dave is perfect. Just Dark Dave.
Dark Dave, okay.
And he comes out like looking like DSP in that shirt and everything. And he comes out to like some shitty, like the most generic royalty-free song you can find, because that's all the songs he uses in his videos.
That would be triple bypass. So there we go. I call them triple bypass. They could be triple B. Anyways, big ups to Gordon Flowers pointing at Derek. Says, Twink Toilet from TCAP wanted Twinks to shit on him. Oh, interesting. Thank you. I did not know that.
You know, his friend's mother was dying, cancer.
I did not know that. Gordon Flowers pointing at Derek. Lyrical Thesis says, lick the man in the rowboat? Come on, guys. Oh, okay. That's a very sexual style content. And Beetlejuice 3 says, next reward for Tip Skull, DSP takes cat to industrial scale to get her weight and receives Farm Ranch Hot Iron brand live. Beetlejuice 3 saying that. Interesting thought. Okay, there we go.
I want to loop back.
Yes.
I want to go back to the point from earlier when
Please.
We were talking about justification. Because ultimately his point is that you shouldn't care when he lies and you shouldn't investigate it and look into it because he's too small time. It's too insignificant.
Yes.
And my problem with this is that this is something that guilty people say and people that are lying and hiding stuff. So that's not really in his favor. Even the point that he wants to make is not in his favor.
Exactly. I mean, if your defense for fucked up shit you did is that it was a while ago, that's not really a defense at all, is it? Just it was a while ago, okay? And he's still doing the stuff today. That's the other part you got to remember. So he's still doing the stuff he says was a long time ago, and he says, I did do that. It was just a long time ago. That's, I mean, come on.
It's why he really emphasizes the pertinence thing, because it's like that's how you have to relate it to him. Yeah. But it must be relevant. It must be now. It must be current. Because if it was 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years ago, it doesn't count. It's the only way you can discount it.
The other day, he was like listing when he in this whole pertinence rant thing, and he was going, "I've not done anything heinous. I've not murdered anyone." And one of the things he said, he did a list. I've not murdered anyone. I've not done any sort of heinous lying. It's like, yes, you have. So when you're making a list of things you haven't done, don't include something you've done. Stupid.
And also the fact that he has to qualify specifically heinous lying. It's very specific.
He loves the word heinous, man.
Heinous sounds so bad. Like there's no way I did heinous stuff. I have lied, but it's not heinous lying. But actually.
Heinous Villain would be another good one for his wrestling name.
Dissension says Meerkat and I see exactly the same thing. Big ups, Dissension. Maybe you and Meerkat are gaming soulmates. Go ahead, Steve.
Somebody in chat said Steve Autism, which is perfect. Press that name for Phil.
Autism
220.
There we go. All right, my friends. That will do it for this show. Unless there's any pressing matters we should cover, Meerkat, what do you think? We close it out here today? We
I can't think of any. I think that's it.
We covered a lot of fucking ground. Atlas, me and Atlas will not be in action tomorrow night. Atlas had to bow out of this, unfortunately.
Nope, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I even had the day off, believe it or not.
I can't do it. So no show with me and Atlas tomorrow. But Atlas, what's coming up on your channel, please let us know. Anything coming in the pipeline?
Hopefully I get to do more videos as soon as it stops snowing. Today was my first day off in 14 days, so...
There you go. Damn. Well, enjoy it, my brother. Atlas, the bookkeeper, go follow him. Mr. Ludacris, I think you promised something if we hit a goal. We definitely hit our goal today. Oh, shit, I forgot to play the animation. Hold on. We hit our goals. Hell yeah. Enjoying the trolls. Hitting our goals and enjoying the trolls. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Ludacris. What did you promise us?
Well, first of all, I've got a new video coming tomorrow. So that's
there we go.
And yeah, because we've hit the goals, I will do the DSL tries it for next weekend. So yeah.
Yes.
So 2 videos, Mr. Full-time YouTuber over here.
You guys love this. There you go. Subscribe to Mr. Ludacris right now.
You asked
right
for
now. Right now. Okay, Steve of the Dead. Any final words, please?
Because he keeps mentioning his neck, I've got something in the works, and it's currently 2 hours and 9 minutes, so I've got 11 minutes to fill.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, good short. Meerkat, any thoughts before we end up today?
0 thoughts exactly.
Yes.
I'm about to go and play some video games and chill. That's all my thoughts. Nothing.
Sounds good
0.
to me. WPIG will be live tonight, 8 p.m. for the call-in show, where we will talk about embarrassing stories. Embarrassing story style show, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. You're all legends. We'll see you midweek, whenever that happens to be. We'll see you next week, my friends. Thanks for chilling. Bye.
I actually don't think clicking like on a live stream helps at all. This stream gets 100 likes or 2. I don't think it affects it.
This one goes out to the one and only, the big cat, the fat cat. Big ups. I first saw you in Burger King. You took 2 seats 'cause that ass is way too big. Had a boyfriend, I realized, but you told him lies with your raccoon eyes. The DoorDash is here. Wipe away your tears. Got you extra fries, and they taste just right. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Devin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Devin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Take you power walking on the beach, feasting on some sushi like you were the queen. Let me run some errands while you sleep. I can watch you play Skyrim all day this week. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes.
in reality, like I tell you guys, every day when I wake up, that's the best day of my life. I feel like this next day is awesome. I have a beautiful wife who I love so much. She loves me and a family, Jasper, and you know, the things we get to do together. You know, I definitely want more time with them and more family time, but I absolutely love my life today compared to how it used to be. Seriously. All those years back then, you'd be like, it's a whirlwind of crap. It was me. And by the way, I've told you guys about my past. I used to drink way too much. I would be drinking constantly, all the time, because I was so stressed out. Honestly, when I started with this whole thing, I was depressed many years ago, a decade ago. I didn't like my life or anything. And basically, liquor was the way to kind of get through that. You know, it was, I hate my life. I hate who I am. So let me just drink it all away and just keep pumping out fucking YouTube videos. I don't have to do that shit anymore. You know, like I'm happy with who I am.
Ban everybody who just laughed, please.